But
hopefully it'll help somewhat now, with it being on just normal.
are we back there now?
Yeah, it's live now. So.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at it's coming in here. The Flash is a total flop for DC.
What number is it out in the charts, or is it just? It'll only be from the weekend, though, isn't it? Really? So.
Yeah, but
although it starts early, like on a Wednesday or something, it did here.
They're saying it's 60 million. That's not. You spent almost 300 million on your film, which it was highly predictable. Like you said, we're much.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't say that's a flop, but it's disappointing.
Oh man,
but fairly predictable. But it'll if it carries on doing okay, but if it's had a disappointing opening, and then there's going to be the word of mouth, and if anything, it'll end up just doing okay on streaming, and that's it, really. So
I think maybe people are voting with their dollars and are much more excited about the Matt Reeves universe, like you're saying. It's. I don't like to. I have always said this. I don't like my DC movies Marvelized, and to me, when you hire James Gunn, that's what you said to the world. Like, we want everything to be Guardians of the Galaxy because that happened to be a success originally. But like Guardians, fine. But I've never gone to go see a Guardians movie in the theater. Like, I will wait till it comes out on at home.
No, they're kind of. For me, I find them a bit lightweight.
Yeah, it's just
a lot of Marvel films are really
some light entertainment that like, oh, I'll watch it if it's on, and it's fine.
Hey guys,
I never.
Everything seems to be better now, so thank you, and thank you for the suggestion. And sorry about that.
People said Chris Pratt should be Indiana Jones. I really don't agree with that sentiment. If I had to pick anybody, I think maybe the tall guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff. He could be Indiana Jones, maybe.
Oh, Hopper.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely has an on-screen presence and charisma and all that, which I think Chris Pratt is better at comedy and stuff. So,
yeah.
What's it going to be though? It's like. Basically, they're just. That's essentially if they go with that age of actor in his 40s. What is this? It's just basically a reboot. They're just going to remake.
That would be.
Yeah. Because he's like that age. Because that's how old Harrison Ford was in the first film. He was.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, like 40. I'm not sure how old he was.
I'd rather see.
Because he's now literally 80.
But I'd rather see Mutt go on an 8-episode adventure, and then call it a day. Like that's
what if they choose an actor like who starts aging really badly, not like Harrison Ford, but like maybe they make an Indiana Jones film with him, and then the second Chris Pratt starts reverting back to his look how he looked when he was in Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Indiana,
and he's like stumbling over all the time and tripping up and.
Yeah,
Jones in the fence,
like in the film Hot Fuzz, where he's trying to jump over the fence and it just smashes through.
He just gets stuck halfway there. Yeah.
If he got hit by that ball, the massive rock, just the rock could bounce off his ass. Not that he wasn't really. He was just like a normal guy,
That's what I liked about his character in Parks and Rec. He was just like your average guy. That's why I like it.
Guy that lives in the ditch by his girlfriend.
Yeah, you feel so bad for him. You're like, poor guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Have you guys watched the new Black Mirror episodes?
Yeah, I know James. I really want to hear his opinion on it. Very cool.
Yeah, it's like the thing that I've got to now, which is a shocking revelation, really, to tell you, for me especially, is. Picking up my phone whilst watching things like that's a bad sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that in the cinema, and I'm not a complete dick.
No. Yeah.
You know, unless I was sat at the back, but I wouldn't start looking at my phone in the cinema. Because you've paid to go and see something, however bad it is, just watch it. You know, but when you're at home and everything, you just obviously can do a million things.
Yeah.
You can start putting, hot body oil on and
yeah. Take a shower, take a bath, or something.
giving yourself a pedicure like Voltaire does, watching stuff. But it's
or having his maid do it, I guess, or something. But anyway,
yeah, or maids, should I say? I would say.
Yeah.
Let me just check because I want to just remember every one of them. Like the first one I watched was the one that was set in Scotland, where they go and they're making a documentary. In some ways, I feel like that was possibly the strongest one, but in some ways, it felt a bit just obvious. Like it's
predictable, or
it's like, come on, you've got to do something with these to sort of.
I watched that with my brother. He did predict that it was going to be who it was. Yes, like very early on, maybe first 15, 20 minutes, he called who's the killer and everything.
By 20 minutes, you're halfway through.
But the thing is, the trouble with the Black Mirror, especially, is like you watch it and you feel like it's well done. It's got good production values. Obviously, they've spent money on it, but there's also an element of where you feel like in that they're almost commenting on the show itself with that, how they made that. Like they've got really professional equipment, those documentary makers. It's showing in these student document. The show feels like that, almost like it's made by a bunch of students with really good high-end equipment, and then with also drone effects. A good film is not made by just flashy visuals and drone effects. It's got to have characters. Like when she's back, one of the only characters who seems a bit off in it. Like there's nothing to guess with. You're not guessing. Like it's not like a whodunit. It's just obvious with that woman. Like no one can be that nicey nice.
Well, there's only like 3 characters in the town.
Yeah,
so.
but there's the guy in the pub as well, and the dad, and it's just the casting. Like for instance, and the cast. I mean, is so threadbare. It's like as if. The trouble with a lot of Black Mirror, it feels like they're making something that wants to give you the impression that it's big budget.
Yeah.
But it's really not, because you've got to have more cast and more things going on. Like everything's always so spare, and they always use these modern houses that are sort of, but like that look 7 something. They just, I mean, Demon 79 is probably about the best one for me.
Oh, I thought that was the weakest one, personally.
Really? Oh, well, maybe it was because of the.
I'm sorry. The wolf one was the Maisie Davis.
Yeah, I mean that was good. It seemed more horror based around these new ones, apart from maybe I've not finished watching the Aaron Paul or whatever his name is. Anyway,
that is the strongest one, I would say.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't finished it yet, so. The werewolf effect, I mean, is very good. It's all physical, and it would seem, and it's very much based around though. A lot of it feels like we're talking about what younger audiences might like, or what they're going to be impressed by. Like, for instance, if they've never seen American Werewolf in London, the werewolf transformation shot might be pretty impressive to them. But it's just such an obvious.
Homage.
Homage, throwback to that. And it's like, okay, that's great. You've done that very impressively, but kind of like, so what? Like, I didn't know that Black Mirror is supposed to be about werewolves.
I know.
Black Mirror is a loose kind of Twilight Zone show, so it can be, but that felt very out of place to me. At the end there, like werewolves. I was like, what?
That was the shortest episode, at literally 40 minutes, and that's obviously including credits and things, which go on forever. So at the end, especially, not titles, I mean. And what was the other one though? The one about the
streaming service that is.
Yeah, that one was just
very.
I thought that is this supposed to be funny, because I'm just finding it not funny.
Well, no, I mean that I like that one because
all it revolves around is one woman just saying, "You're like, oh look, they've made a TV show of me with Salma Hayek playing me." and she's a complete dick, basically. Is that me? That's the whole show. And it's like, and then they find out that the show is not actually made by Salma Hayek, didn't act in it. It's just using her likeness.
I thought
and
that
was
because they're on strike right now, the writers, because of the AI being so strong. Dude, that. So
but then they make a series of films like anybody can be in it, and the one that's with her, it's called Joan, is awful. But they make one of anyone. They've made ones of literally every person called Is Awful. So but then it doesn't show you any of the other films, so therefore it's like it just feels so throwaway and a bit lightweight, really.
I thought that was kind of prophetic in a way, though. Like we had Bandersnatch, which was personal, and that was another episode of the same show, pretty much. And like that was very personalized to however you took it. You know what I mean? Like
okay. Back to the Maisie Day one, the 40-minute. I like the main actress, that Zazie Beetz, and she's supposed to be a paparazzi.
Was that
all that? Yeah. Oh, she's in the Joker film bit.
Yeah. I totally
but
did.
It's like, but why does the starlet in it have to be a werewolf? I don't understand it.
That's a good question.
It's like I'm missing something quite clearly in terms of the meaning of it.
Yeah, maybe there's some type of
I mean, it's quite good. It's quite effective in a scene where it's like we're all inside a diner and there's this werewolf coming through these woods to get them and stuff. It's like, but it's the way it's filmed and everything. It just feels so slapdash and just like in some shots you can barely see the werewolf at all, and it's basically like it feels almost like, oh, we didn't have enough time to finish the CGI and all that on that bit. So, like, some people have said that about The Flash. Actually, they've said some of the CGI in it is quite subpar for a major, but
especially in the theater, you really notice.
I think that's very true of a lot of.
I'm glad you brought that up, James.
Yeah, me too, James. Yeah, sir, I would too.
You know, Pennywise #2 had very, very weak CGI when it had
it. You mean it? Chapter 2.
Yeah.
It's and
you know
some of it was quite good. Like the bit where they go in the Chinese restaurant and there's all those little creatures coming out of the. I thought that the effects were actually good, but I was just like, "What the hell is happening? Why does this have to be in the film?"
The one thing, James, you kind of
like something that is needed. You know,
you kind of stumble upon. Sometimes they rush it so quickly to the theater, they don't post render or do their rendering until they re-release it either on streaming or on DVD or Blu-ray.
Probably, yeah.
I've heard that many times.
Not probably. That's very true.
They've had to fix things here and there. Cats, or that movie Cats, or that came out not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, but that's an example of like how it's a business before anything. It's not about the
bottom dollar
crafting or just making. I mean, yeah, okay. Films are a business, right? Yeah. Even if they're really great films that move us and all these kind of things. And that's going back to Dune, for instance, with Lynch and everything. Many people really love that film, but at the same time, it certainly didn't, have the success that Villeneuve's version did. And to be honest, watching Villeneuve's film, it was so glacially paced and slow and kind of emotionless, like say Blade Runner 2049 almost.
Yes.
Not even though I think that's a good film in many ways, but his style is so like
it's almost like he's an amazing
deliberate.
Yes, but it's also like he's an amazing cinematographer. He can get the shots right, but he's missing that other aspect where you add light.
Well, I found the ending of June, the ending of the new June, it kind of ratcheted up a bit, and it had something coming in there when there was the fight, and then the Zendaya character came into it, and you thought, okay, something's happening here, but then it ended. So I suppose, But I actually heard, I'm not joking now, I saw in Derby in the cinema, there's these two younger people, I think a guy and a girl, and they went, oh, that was the best film I've ever seen.
My God.
And I was like, what? I was like thinking, like, I mean,
wow.
The thing is, though, you don't know how people are going to react to these films. Like, you're right in that Lynch's Dune is very captivating. Oh shit!
Very.
it just has a story. I mean, it just is filling.
It's bustling with life, and just everyone is just incredible. Yeah, and it's amazing how I feel Lynch was robbed that year. He should have got the Academy. He was definitely robbed. I want to look at that year and see what movie won the Academy, because of all the movies he's made, countless of them deserve academies, but this one very much so.
You know, with the tech they have today, it's too bad Villeneuve couldn't have took the actual like
Yes,
the filmed David Lynch version
yeah,
and made all the special effects to fill it.
Ooh, I agree. Yeah,
You know, then we would have had maybe some kind of masterpiece. You know,
because it's like you watch that film, it's so devoid of life. It's got these epic sweeping shots. It's
if
got the sound design, but
like
then the
yeah,
characters.
you never read the book and you never saw the other versions, you'd have no idea who's Dr. Huey,
Yep.
who's this, who's that, what are the Mentats. It barely ever even showed any of the people in the town. Like,
I know.
you know, it just I don't know.
And even comparing it to the series, I don't know if you ever saw the early 2000 Dune series. That even that had so much life and bustling with color and just characters. You know, it's just you gotta have that. You know,
I don't know about the aesthetics of the thing, but it told a better story.
it tells better. So yeah,
I did enjoy it. Not so much the children of the second, you know,
no, yeah.
the children of Dune. Like, I mean, that was okay, but that first one was I thought it was good.
I'm back now. I'm sorry, I didn't. In all the excitement, I didn't plug my computer in.
What blows
Wow.
that the Flash is flopping, but yet James Gunn is highly confident enough to give Andy Muschietti The Brave and the Bold that they're going to direct the Batman Damian Wayne thing. I mean,
Oh, wow, really?
what about, bro?
Whoa.
What are you on? You know,
Raw.
Rah.
Yeah, it's quite funny in Beau is Afraid when he gets taken in by this family who just like adopt him and put him in. It's like really amusing to me.
7 years old.
What?
They adopted 57.
I don't know. No, he's supposed to be about in his 40 something,
But still.
47 or something. But yeah, they adopt him and he's their new son because their other son was killed in killed in war, you know, and they've adopted this other guy who's like suffering from, you know, trauma from being a soldier, who's just completely insane, running around, you know. They have to like shove him with like 4 injections in his back, and it's crazy, honestly.
20 cc's. No, stop.
It's really crazy, and just some of it you're just like, what the hell?
Oh, you saw it, James? Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, but yeah, and yeah, they basically move Beau, who's been in an accident. They've hit him with their truck by accident, or did they? And they've put him in their daughter's bedroom, which is decorated solely with K-pop stuff. And he's just lying there with all this.
Wow.
And like the guy who's like adopted it, put him in their house, and the wife, like he's a surgeon and things, so he's kind of fixed him up a bit, but they put an ankle device on him, like a monitor. They says that's to monitor your health, but it's really like they're just keeping him.
The tracking him, yeah.
Like, so, and the daughter comes in, and the father just says, "Oh, you know," just tells her to F off. It's like,
Wow.
oh, what the fuck's she doing now? And stuff. It's like, and he keeps calling Beau. He keeps going up to him and going, "My dude, it's okay. We're gonna take you back to you." And his mother in it basically has died because a chandelier fell on her head.
Oh my god, it's so cartoony.
Ari Aster seems to have like an obsession with people being beheaded, head squashed. All that side of things. There's just things in it that made me really laugh, like particularly when Beau is
very Looney Tunes sounding.
He's having a bath at the start. And yeah, but he's living in this diabolical neighborhood with people just running around. Naked guy who's just trying to stab people. And for some reason, the cops never get him, even though he's standing around in broad daylight.
Yeah.
It's completely insane. It's just, But when this is just one shot of Bo where he steps into the bath and it's like just showing his legs downward, and you notice that he's got like something really big popping out.
Okay.
And later when he's like taken in by this guy, he says you have a really long distended, ball sack. I think it is. He says you've got to operate on it, and I'm like watching this whole film for the first hour and a half film, thinking. This is just the best film ever. But then afterwards,
oh my god! But
then it becomes much slower, and it becomes like sort of paced more like Midsummer in its second half or something, but not even as interesting as that.
Oh my god!
I felt kind of let down.
Did the film seem like it was an allegory, the paranoia of the lockdown, stuff like that?
Possibly, but I think that could come into it. But I think the thing is, like, none of it in it. We've obviously watched Twin Peaks: The Return and discussed how much of it is real or not, which I don't think there's much of a conclusion made on that. But in this, I can't really see how you could realistically see any of it as real. I mean, the whole thing. See, there's one point where the girl who, like I told you, she's been shoved out of her own bedroom so Bo can sleep in it. Then he insists that she can sleep in it if she wants. But then she abducts him with her friend and makes him smoke this cigarette that she's got. And he says, "What's in it?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, 3 things." And he starts smoking it. And I think Ari Aster is really good at showing like hallucinogenic states and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can hear like them echoing and like the whole car seems bigger. Mm-hmm. But then that scene ends and you don't know where that scene ends and where the next is in some other place. Whereas if that scene never even happened, like you're just thinking. Like I think that was the point where the film got not as enjoyable for me. I mean,
really?
Yeah, I mean, it does have a madcap quality to it at the start, and like just like really stupidly violent. And there's people running around the streets outside, and where he lives, like his apartment, there's all these signs that are like kind of adult film shows, like. They're just really weird stuff, like
that is basically not in your town, maybe all over, but in the device that you carry around everywhere in town.
Well, he's basically supposed to be staying in what is a reasonably sized apartment, but it's just in the worst area of town, and it culminates literally in this scene when he goes outside and I think he's naked. And he runs up to this cop for some help. And this cop just says, drop it, whatever you've got. And he's just got something that's not a weapon at all. And the cop just shouts, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Even when he's dropped it. So he runs in the opposite direction and this cop's just standing there talking to a hooker. It's really comically unhinged, the first part. And I really thought that was hilarious. Like when he's in the bath as well, he suddenly hears this man like he was really scared or something, and then he looks up and there's a guy literally on the ceiling above him, like trapped, because all these people came into his apartment when he went out to the chemist, pharmacy, or whatever, and like stormed in and just broke everything in the apartment.
My God.
And that scene is funny, but
I'll have to check you. I'll have to stream this week.
But at the same time, I feel like people say, oh, like Davin coming in saying, I wish superhero films fail because then we'll have more serious cinema and things. But something like Beau is Afraid, I mean, it is serious cinema, but it's like, you just feel like, why are they giving Ari Aster, why are they saying this is fine being a 3-hour film? And the thing is, what it lacks is there's nobody there saying to him, God, I really enjoyed that first hour and a half, and then it just loses steam. It's like, come on, we've got to think of something else.
A lot of people say about it, a lot of reviewers. I feel like it's indicative of the fact that, like, nowadays, like I said, I'm surprised Mario's even still in the theater. So, like, once a movie is done in the theater, it's really pretty rare that it's going to get re-released. So it's going to some service, and it helps to have a longer movie on the streaming service.
Well, considering that, you know, Hereditary was very successful, really, for what it was.
Yeah.
A relatively not massive kind of movie, but then Midsummer was probably, I'm not sure, that was very successful as well, really, for what it was. This is just, and they were released sort of on mainstream, you know, cinemas. Whereas Beau is Afraid, I couldn't find it in a mainstream cinema, so I didn't go because I wanted. I don't know. I just couldn't be bothered going to see it at a certain time.
It was there weeks where I was at, but
so at some point, obviously, it's been screened, and they've just gone. This isn't commercial, you know. I mean, whoever watches Midsummer and goes, "This is commercial."
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, that film is Midsummer is not exactly startlingly commercial, but I think that people are still It appeals to them because of the performances and.
I didn't see Midsummer. Isn't it kind of like a remake of Nicolas Cage movie, or before that, the original, The Wicker Man?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, The Wicker Man. Is that what you're talking about, The Wicker Man?
Yeah. Isn't it pretty much that, but a little more serious of a tone?
Midsummer.
Yeah. I mean,
well, there is a 3-hour version of it, and I think that's better. But
there are cults that are sacrificing people. I think it's
still got that same kind of sense of humor in it. That's sometimes you just are left a bit cold by, maybe. But there are parts in it that I found hilarious, like where is he called Will Poulter, that actor who's pretty good. He like pisses on this dead tree, you know, in their encampment, the cult. And suddenly this guy's like weeping next to him and saying and screaming, you know, saying, "My God, he's desecrated our greatest thing," you know, like part of. He says, "Do you know what you've done?" So he's literally a dead man walking.
Right. He just gave the tree. Yeah. But, you know, because there's such environmental freaks, you know, it's sacrilege.
Well, it's got some kind of. It's like a. You know, a real important talisman or something to them. Something very. It's like if you were going to go into a, you know,
he peed on the tree of life.
Go in a graveyard and then start shorting on crosses or something.
Oh my God!
In front of.
Oh my God!
Shorting.
By shorting. Uh-oh.
Well, you could say it was an accident then.
Yeah, I guess. But if you're constantly going to each one, at this point, you're shitting, not sharding.
No, you could be just exploring the graveyard and just enjoying the sights.
At what time? Like midnight too? The full moon's out?
Just, I mean, if they made a Black Arrow like that. Sorry, a Black Arrow? Black Mirror?
Mm-hmm. You know what? My favorite episode from that Black Mirror series was, remember the Star Trek parody?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. I like that, how he gets trapped in it. That was very cool.
They could have went back to that for a second.
Ooh, but I think leaving on like that Twilight Zone kind of like David Lynch mystery where you
USS
don't know.
Callister. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that there's never been an episode.
It was very well done, that one was.
Yes, very well done. I think it was actually won an Emmy or something, that one.
And then there was one that was actually directed by Jodie Foster called Archangel, which really sort of encapsulates what I thought that Black Mirror was going to be, you know, like. Yeah. Where she's got it's a cutting edge device that monitors the girl's whereabouts.
Yeah,
I'm reading it, you know.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
you know, the invasion of privacy of that as well. But they had a similar one to that where it was, and Jodie Whittaker was in it, and it was and it was like a thing where you could literally rewind your memories, and so it means that you kind of. In this one, it went into their love lives and things, and so if he. You know, he was like playing a scene with someone else or playing a scene earlier in their relationship.
Yes.
That kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Those ones seem to be what you're saying. So would you say this new season tonally, in writing-wise, isn't up to par of what we've seen Black Mirror do before?
I don't know if I want to say that because I think that, for instance... Season 5 only had 3 episodes, It had the one with Miley Cyrus where she's got a robot doll.
Yeah.
Which was quite enjoyable, actually, at first.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one.
They were okay, but yeah, I wouldn't say that this season is any. I'd say it's a bit better than season 5, but on the other hand, it's 5 episodes. So,
yeah.
But I think it's changed as a show in certain ways. It's moved away a bit from the sort of the Britishness that it certainly had.
I like that. It gave it such a. I like that tone of that Britishness and almost the anthology aspect of it that it kind of always displayed. You know,
the whole thing is just like, you know,
except for the pig one. Except for that pig episode. That pig episode was terrible. I don't know if it was the first episode ever. That pig episode was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
A real thing that happened. So whatever.
No way. What?
Yeah, yes.
I couldn't believe it. I was dying watching that. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, there was a real PM that they had pictures of him with the pig. So
Oh my God.
That's like the British. One of the I don't know, an MP or
when did this happen? Why haven't I heard about this before? This is ridiculous.
A while back, it had to. I forget. You know, I can keep such an encyclopedia knowledge of things in my head at this point.
Hey, but Phantom Cooper.
There's some reality to that pig thing.
Not
that shown in public, but that the public is aware that they have that there's a picture of him with the pig.
I remember watching that with my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "What the fuck is this? What is happening?"
I'm surprised they never had an episode about an actual Black Mirror.
You know, and that's an incredible idea. And to have that as like the staple, the theme where maybe every episode ends or begins where they show the Black Mirror, and then through that is what we're seeing, you know, and then have an episode about the mirror itself. Yeah, I agree with that totally.
Yeah. I saw a movie yesterday. It was not a really good movie, but it was weird. But I relate to Twin Peaks. It's on YouTube.
Ooh, very cool.
There's this couple that does creature features,
nice. And I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I know exactly.
Yeah. Called The Return.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
Little Chef, Martin Landau, and who used to play Perry Mason back in the day, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of stars. But was about it was kind of it seemed like what was weird about it was it had actual like where they're investigating Skinwalker.
Oh.
1980 that were going on there with cattle mutilation, stuff like that. I thought it had like some interesting things, like the black dog runs at night, or a little kid with his.
I can't even remember doing this, but this is a picture.
Oh, what's that?
Wow.
This is says
Cock the Cock.
Morecambe Film Productions presents the Josh Cockhouse.
Lay it.
Let's do this or something.
This is
XX6 rate unrated hardcore version. Lay it. I've even written a poem on this one.
What, dear Josh?
It's not about Josh. It's just more about other things. I'll just read my poem out, and then we can move on to the next topic, perhaps. Going up on the big bird. I hope. Wait. Going up on the big bird, flying above the clouds. I'm gonna take my chance, highline it to the overdrive. When I'm going through customs, I've got to slam it on the line like a belly pork roast. Lay it to the bridge. Lay that butt on the landing strip. Lay it to the edge of Valhalla. Amped up on free Bentos tinned pies. walking out on the stage like a salmon heading upstream. Nothing is going to stop this long-haired lover. I'm cock of the walk and ready. Got a vlog lady lamp showing the way. Electricity burns in my veins, rich and strong like Nescafe Gold Blend. I've got to lay it on the line like a bitch in heat. My ass is fine. Lay it till the morning comes. Well, that was...
That's amazing. I'm definitely going to remix this later into a song.
I don't really know what that... I'll definitely listen to that. I will say I appreciate it as well.
It's going to be a song.
You drew that pretty cool style.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do more drawings and stuff like that. Incorporate them into like at least my background or put them on screen sometimes, whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mandelman, have you ever seen the Colin McLaughlin movie from 1987 called The Hidden?
I don't think so.
Oh, I highly recommend it. It's very good. It's a hidden gem.
1987, yeah. This one's a bit strange. It's just a person's face and it says shitting Nora.
Oh my god.
Shitting Nora.
Who's Nora? Why are you shitting?
I don't know. That one's Bangkok Nights.
Oh wow.
Sounds a bit like Robert Crumb or something. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my brother drew these pictures of me today. It was like massive sumo wrestler type figure. Then just the head, like nude, all not nude.
What?
And then I was just saying, welcome to coffee time.
Mm.
What was it?
That should be your picture.
Trying to make fun of me, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, my sister kept saying, like, you know, you're famous. And I said, yeah, I know I am famous, actually. She says, yeah, you are. Because you've got a show on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. And I said, you know, thanks a lot. I appreciate that you recognize it. She says, well, I hope you're wearing all the latest stuff, you know, like fashionable wear. Because you're an influencer now as well. Today I was wearing these trainers that are like made by High Tech. I don't know if you've heard of that. Yes. Called Silver Shadow. They're a bit, you know, bargain wear, but I will say these are quite comfortable. And they're coming back in style as well. And I think people
Very
when they see me wearing it, they're like, I get some of them actually. He's on coffee time, you know. Because, like, you know, I went into that horror film night they had where they showed all these little... And when I came in, I did see two people point at me, so they may have watched a coffee time.
Him over there. That's him. That's
either that or maybe they were in my vicinity when I shouted earlier.
That's the guy from the graveyard. He's the one that desecrated all those graves. Get him.
Well, has anybody, like, you know, the last video I did last week, and it was only 29 minutes. It was talking about my
scared the shit out of
beliefs in... Oh, you mean me saying it's... Oh, my God, what's happening with the sound right now?
Yeah, that's definitely not me because I did mute for that. So that's definitely not me.
I believe it was some shit like that. Like my grandma heard that from the other room. She's like, "Are you okay?"
Oh no, that was when Voltaire was.
Are you okay?
Just listening.
Ravaged. Wow.
But yeah, I talked about the whole Twin Peaks, you know, season 4 idea, and so
it's getting very.
I'm just muting you for just a second just to see if there's any noise coming out. Well, everything sounds fine now, so it's obviously coming from my Delmar. So, yeah, it was only on the basis of like Kyle MacLachlan and Dana Ashbrook sort of trading comments, and you know, Kyle's initial one did seem to me, even though some people said, you know, you're just seeing something that's not there. It's unusual for him to post something that kind of obvious.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, saying he was being nostalgic. Is there something in the air? And then to leave it with like, don't be a stranger. Like, what's that supposed to mean? Who's a stranger? You know?
Yeah.
it's a bit like unclear because, like, to end it with that is, I mean, it could be just him kind of writing vaguely, like, you know, hey, just keep interested in my account, check out Twin Peaks if you've never checked it out. But then Dana Ashbrook replied with, it's been too long, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, somebody could say, well, maybe it's been too long for Dana to have met Kyle again, you know, at some. But they know what it, you know, how to write something which interests the fans.
Definitely, they know what'll get the fans going for sure.
Like, if they want to write personally to each other and say, you know, like, are you going to this fan thing, or, you know, let's both go, make sure we appear, and then we can say hi and everything, and we'll have a cup of coffee or whatever.
Yeah,
that's personal, you know. They're making something of an appeal to fans of Twin Peaks, and then at the Dallas event, this is a more new sort of thing that was mentioned. Cameron mentioned it first, actually, but it's been on Reddit and stuff, like, and she says it. You know, I've seen the video where they ask Kimmy if there was anything left on the cutting room floor, and like, were there any extra scenes with Wally Brando or, you know, you and Andy and everything? Yeah. And she says, well, there's lots of things that's been left on the cutting room floor now, and because of this thing called COVID, and, you know, there's lots of things we couldn't do, and it's like, that's about as close as you're going to get to saying there were things planned, but it just didn't happen, you know, like, because they planned that whole thing with the appearing at Graceland, which is obviously a pretty strange venue to choose, perhaps, for Twin Peaks, but with Kimmy Robertson saying that kind of thing, it definitely suggests
something,
more, that they were going to do more. But I think, even on top of that, the fact that Lynch has not been online since about last October or November, and from that about the same time, Christabel as well has not been active at all.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because as much as people might not, some fans might be against the idea, I do think if they were going to continue with Twin Peaks, like, I think it would be quite a good idea to have Christabel in it, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she was not necessarily, I don't mean like it's going to be called the Tammy Preston Investigations or something, you know, but but at the end of the day, if that happened, I would still watch it. So,
yeah, anything Twin Peaks related, yeah.
I just think that, you know, particularly, I mean, I was watching like episode 14 and some of 15 last night of The Return, and it's just, I do think that, like, The Return is just so abstract, really, and so strange is the word, I suppose.
Yeah, and surreal.
If you watch it like with headphones or with just good sound and everything, it's just so, doesn't feel like anything we knew of Twin Peaks. And I noticed, for instance, in the scene where Gordon starts talking about I had another Monica Bellucci dream, which is quite funny in itself. But in that scene, there's Diane in the room, and it cuts to Diane. And I noticed before that there's like just a screw or nail in the wall where a picture would probably be. And it kind of, that seems to be in the frame a lot with Diane. So I was thinking, what am I looking at here? And then you look down, and there's like the picture that was supposed to be hanging there, and it's just like, it's like everything in throughout The Return is sometimes calling back a callback or reminiscent of something in the original show, like especially like in the pilot where they walk into the room, Sheriff Truman and Cooper, and he says, they kind of look down at the deer head, and she says, "Oh, it just fell off the wall."
Yes.
You know, it's like, why have that in the shot, for instance, with Diane? It's just, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what it, I mean, I didn't analyze what the picture is or anything. It's just, it seems to be like two trees or something. But
oh, wow, okay.
And there is an earlier thing where Johnny runs into the wall and he smashes his head, and that knocks the picture of the falls off the wall, the Snoqualmie Fall. But so it's again similar to that, but in a way, it is quite sort of a poetic thing, you know, of the idea of, you know, the whole of The Return is like Twin Peaks, but like it's been knocked off a wall. You know, framed picture that we like looking at and everything, but it's so.
I have.
It continues with the picture theme too, because with Sarah
It's
smashing the picture later on, it's kind of just continuing
displaced
that.
And
yeah.
I have a song where the lyrics are, "I had it all, now it's a picture," and it's that idea of like, you know, once something happens in the past, and image, you know, just like film itself, it's not really image, not really what I mean. Sure, it's what happened that day, I guess, but it's more abstract of an image. It's just a thing it's just a thing hanging on the wall. You know what I mean by that? Or it's not. People ascribe it more meaning than the actual, like, it's made of. You know, whatever it's made of, vinyl or whatever it's made out of, and it's got pixels on it. It's the idea that once something passes, it's technically gone.
Yeah, but it also continues the theme from Fire Walk with Me with the picture and the disappearing angel, or the
that's interesting actually. Yeah,
you know,
that's a good connection, definitely. And
oh yeah,
Mandela man, your sound is really glitching at the moment. It makes it really difficult for me to concentrate.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's like all the time going.
Yeah, like a matrixy type of glitchy sound.
It's because he's on his phone and everything. And it's funny actually because there's everything like that visually. There's different aspects you can pick up on, and one that I'd never picked up on was, for instance, in that picture, the photo that's supposed to be of Mr. C walking in front of, like, it's a mansion,
yeah.
You know, with a pool,
yeah,
and there's like 5 arches behind him.
Yeah,
if you look like when JE is at the playground where she gives those 2 men the money, and she sort of talks strongly to them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 arches behind her as well, with a little girl playing on it who's dressed in pink.
5,
a bit like Candy as well, who's dressed in pink. And when she's in the Mitchum's house, if you look behind the scene after where she accidentally hits Bradley, I think it is, and he's sort of like trying to console her, and she's inconsolable.
Yeah.
You know, like they're got in their actual garden. There's actually 5 arches again.
Oh wow! Okay,
Someone pointed all this kind of stuff out, and I'm like,
yeah.
It's on Reddit. There's some people who go really into this kind of thing, and one person was responding like, "This sort of stuff is like way out there," you know, for me.
I'm thinking if it shows twice, right? Because 10 is the number of completion, and if you show the scene twice, that would be 5, 10. But if it's shown more than that, then it can mean something else. But I understand your callback, to the original one. That's cool. Okay.
Well, they use an image of Mr. C, which is, of course, there was another guy who was some kind of gangster or something who lived at
wasn't it formerly Capone's place or something, or somebody else?
Yeah. And so they just took him out of the picture and then put Mr. C in. So it's so for us watching it, some people will know that anyway, and then other people will know this after the fact by investigating online or something. And it just showcases the kind of the unreality of it all, and the, you know, Mr. C being kind of existing in this other realm, really, I suppose, even within the whole strangeness of the return. But
do you ever picture his journey, like from when the second season ends, he goes off, I guess, right to Vegas, to build his empire? Do you ever think it's like the long journey that Mr. C might go on, or how he built his empire? Or?
Well, he didn't. We never actually see him in Vegas, do we? We just see him. No. He's just in contact with people there.
True.
True. It seems like a lot of things that he would have. There's a big suggestion of like this kind of, he's like, there's an electrical aspect to him, and a lot of these things were conveyed through all this sort of different technology. But Yeah, I don't know. In terms of his like the reality of Mr. C having a criminal enterprise and all this kind of thing, I've never really even put it into picture because I don't see it as being like that's not true. Even like Mr. C is not. Mr. C is about as real, like as Dougie, for instance. It's
I agree.
And I don't know if people. I know people complain about Dougie, for instance, but for me, I only on rewatch could I possibly say, okay, these scenes like are a bit slow, But I mean, compared to many directors, like for instance Ari Aster and things, that Lynch always keeps it entertaining. I would say always captivating to a degree.
You're right. Yeah.
So
I think it was just the initial shock. Everyone was expecting the original Cooper, quote unquote. So when Dougie became the mainstead, and filled in those time where people were thinking this could have been time for the other. That's just my thoughts.
For me, I would say that I don't think that Dougie became the main character. I think that Mr. C is more the main character because
he's the driving force. Definitely,
he's far more captivating.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
In general, but it goes from a certain sort. I think the Mr. C story kind of has this basis in like he's mixing around with criminals and gangsters or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it goes off into this sort of almost superhero facet to it, which is one thing that I can understand that people. It's like as if Lynch and Frost are sort of examining the very medium with which they're in, and I can understand that many fans would think, like, can't we just have a good story? And what are you doing with all this? Why, Mr. C arm wrestling with people? What is this? A remake of Over the Top with Stallone, driving along.
Yeah,
and he's like driving, and at the same time, he's practicing arm wrestling as he's driving. Apparently, that happens in the film. It's like, I mean, did anyone expect to see a scene like that?
No.
Not me, anyway. I mean, the Dougie stuff was just, and that's where if I had any problem with or any questions, with the return, that's the kind of stuff, and leading Richard up onto the rock, and then he's. I
was about to say, literally, I was thinking about that.
Electrified and stuff like that. It's just like it just went off into complete craziness,
Yeah, because you're thinking he's leading his son to his death, or he's getting transported somewhere. But there's something. Yeah,
it's just like it's like as if there's some kind of aspect of tongue-in-cheekness from Lynch and Frost, where they're just joking around with the notion that people thought season 2 jumped the shark at times. In certain scenes, like the people have different opinions. Some people thought the little man from another place dancing on a bed was jumping the shark. Some people, the main complaint was the long detour with James and Evelyn, and he's not even in Twin Peaks, but
I know, yeah.
Just think of the entirety of the return. How much of it is not Twin Peaks as well?
Yeah, that whole James.
And then when you're even in Twin Peaks, it doesn't feel like the Twin Peaks we knew, and everything's so much at a distance. It's so kind of it's got such a peculiar feel to it. Not the kind of, it's not like moody and mysterious and magnificent. It's almost like dry. Like where they go walking in the woods and they find Jack Rabbit's palace and everything.
Yeah.
The whole atmosphere and everything, it's just unnerving, and it's just like the least thing that you would expect, really. But at the same time, it feels so
lackluster. Could have been underwhelming, I guess.
No, I wouldn't say that's not how I thought. I didn't find it look lackluster. I found it almost on the nose surreal, like finding, the Nido character and everything. It's just, but the whole style of it is so kind of much of a separation from the original show. There's no attempt to recreate anything of that. It's the mood, the woods don't feel moody. They just feel genuinely kind of
And we've spoken about how. I agree with you, James, about the mood.
Panic attacky sort of.
Yeah, and just the simple fact that when Cooper became Cooper, a simple thumbs up would have been suffice. There's no thumbs up a single time in the whole show.
No, he stands there and he doesn't give the thumbs up. Like that is a good indication, actually, of something's not quite right here. Like I didn't see that scene as Cooper's back. I saw that as a sort of like, again, like almost jump the shark kind of bad version of Cooper coming back, like what you would imagine. You know, say you had a dream and you're making your own TV show in your mind, and it's like Cooper's back, he's got a family, and now they're driving in this red sports car or whatever, or white sports car. You know, it's just like playing the Twin Peaks music with that on. It's just, even though we love hearing that music,
it's so out of place. It's so out of place.
Yeah, it's like playing that music and having, you know, like Baywatch people.
Yeah, no, I get
running down the beach or something.
Yeah.
You know, an Agent Cooper on the beach.
Yeah, running in slow motion. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, most of this stuff. I mean, many people might have found it like, okay, that is Cooper, but
the way I see
the only scene where I genuinely felt like it was Cooper was that scene where he's outside the Black Lodge with Diane, and she says, "Is it really you?" And he says, "Yes, it's me, Diane." And it does sound, the delivery is everything like Cooper. Cooper's not like, "How many of those sandwiches?" Like when he wakes up. That's not Cooper. It's like,
no, I know. Sometimes I just feel like the entire third season is just Cooper in the lodge, sitting in a chair like Leland, having these fantasies or purgatory on a loop. So like every time he sees the giant in the White Room, and he goes, "It's in our house now." Like that, he could have done this many a time. This could be like a Groundhog Day thing, thousands of times. And then I always felt when at the end with Laura, it's almost like that's the last coinciding dream or when they meet again, and maybe that's when it restarts and starts yet again, maybe. But I feel that's when they meet up together, when they're both that last scene. They walk up to the Palmer house.
Yeah, I remember. Realistically, you know, I could sort of see Leyland's place in The Return as being him kidding himself that Laura, you know, is not dead, that he didn't kill her. Because the thing is with The Return, I think there's a big aspect of, and this is all done deliberately, of like, you know, the function of and the catalyst of drama is to reach like a crescendo and some kind of you know, conclusion to everything, and catharsis as well. And like there's no catharsis in The Return. No. It just ends, and it's like,
yes,
you know, unless you, I don't know, I don't think anyone would have, it's deliberately done, obviously. I don't think anyone feels any kind of great pleasure in the scene of Freddy smashing the bob ball. Like,
no,
because it's obviously ridiculous.
And there's another throwback to Mr. C when he had smashed in after the arm wrestling match the guy's head in. It's almost another.
Yeah, it's like basically, okay, Mr. C's vanquished another foe, but like, so what? You know, he's like basically superhuman, and he's got superhuman strength. So therefore, why are we even following his story? Because he'll just, you know,
if the means of you could just destroy evil by the means of just hitting it. You think it defeats the purpose. It's something to be way beyond that. And how can you really?
Yeah, it's like the most blatant. Freddy has got the kind of most blatant sort of answer to Mr. C's type of ferocity, but his you know what he's doing as Freddy in the Roadhouse whilst they're playing ZZ Top is like basically nearly kills a guy, or and he's not necessary. I mean, that guy obviously was not a good kind of pleasant guy, giving a nice reaction to what James said about I like her, you know, or whatever.
But I love her.
No, he just says, "But I like her."
Oh, like her? Okay.
No. I mean, James, throughout the entire season, if you watch that, Freddy starts with Freddy trying to crush the walnuts, and instead they just not crushed them, he's wanting to crack them, and he's just exploding. It's just like, I don't understand how anyone can look at this show and go, "Oh, it's not like the other Twin Peaks, is it? Oh, I'm not into this." It's like, obviously it's not exactly. But the thing is, this kind of huge power thing of people that was always in the show with Nadine.
Yeah, the strength. Yeah, the ultimate strength. Yeah.
You know.
Don't you feel like when the wrestling thing happened, that was a way of like saying that the bad guys in fiction are like more interesting, and he's getting you to root for a bad guy, and so in the original series the bad guy is Bob. So I don't know, like if Carrie Page or whatever, if Laura survived, she must have never put the ring on in the train car, because that's what, when Leland went, "Don't make me do this." You know what I mean? So that,
in that reality, she goes, in Mark Frost reality, she goes missing instead.
It just, I don't know. And I always felt like Mr. C and Bob, they're looking for their mama. Like that's what the whole return seems like it's about.
See, I always thought Bob mated with
Who
really?
is Judy? Who's Judy?
Yeah.
You've already met Judy because she's your mom. And
yeah,
there is that element to it, definitely.
Relating to Laura's mom.
To do with the monstrous, the idea basically going into like, psychotherapy and everything, the monstrous feminine, like the experiment and Judy and all that kind of thing. It's strange. It's a similar thing actually to Beau is Afraid has this element of, but the thing, I mean, the character which we obviously sympathize with, who encapsulates that so much, the monstrous feminine, is Sarah, and her scene where she kind of rips that guy's throat out and everything, the Truck U guy. I mean, that is a really good encapsulation of Lynch's depiction of just like evil and manifest. Like he really can do that well. He knows how to.
Very much so.
Do you think he's saying that Sarah looking away is and ignoring the problem all these years is the real evil?
No, I think he's just showing. I think that scene is quite bluntly just about Sarah, kind of giving herself alcohol and the whatever medication she's given and things and all that, wanting to be left alone. But there's an element of her which is like she's just got this incredible anger and
rage,
like a fire inside her, which she shows you really want to mess with this. And it's just got that big smile in. It's like a shit-eating smile, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And people who are genuinely damaged like that. If you're like, oh shit, this is not someone I want to mess with, or
no,
because people are like that. I mean, but on the other hand, people cope with it better. Some people get through it and things. And the sad thing with the portrayal of Sarah is that we're, again, another thing that we don't reach any kind of conclusion where we can feel happy with anything. Like Sarah's basically suffering throughout the entire show. And then she says at the end, it's a big mystery or whatever to that guy in the bar. And he backs away. And it's like, what's a big mystery? Like,
in what she says to Hawk too, right? It's a big, just almost similar thing she says to Hawk.
Really.
Doesn't she say it's a shit story?
Something like that.
Something like a story, yeah.
Horrible story or something. Yeah.
For her, it definitely is, yeah.
And the thing is, like, it must mean something, the fact that she's not there at the house. And, like, this idea of meeting the mother as... Because...
See,
if that scene had ended and Sarah had been at the door, this would have been, like, far more of a conclusion that people would have, I think, felt... was powerful in some way,
Here's what I'm talking about. Mr. C was looking for the porthole to get to Judy, right? So when Cooper brings Carrie Page back to her real mother, it's like if she wouldn't have put the ring on, like I was saying, then I would have expected that Bob would have been inside Carrie Page or Laura Palmer. But instead, it ends up in Laura's mother. So when he brings her all the way back home, it's like he's completing Mr. C's mission for him. and he fucked up, and that's when he.
Well, she does say when he arrives at the door, "Did you see him or did you find him?" And then there's that dead body there. That could be the Bob in this life, in that reality that she just killed. Or I'm just throwing snowballing.
I mean, the thing with when they say it's in our house now and everything, like it could mean like within the house in terms of we're thinking of Laura's house or something, but it could also mean in terms of the, like astrological chart and everything, like the idea that Bob, or like the evil that men do, has permeated into society so much that, like that's why Candy's kind of having a massive breakdown with the fact that she just hit him with because she feels like she's bad now from one simple mistake, and it's like every character in it seems to be wrestling with something anyway, or denying things as well in a way, like when Kimmy Robertson was at that Dallas recently, and about her saying that certain things were on the cutting room floor because of COVID, which doesn't really make any sense unless she means that they were going to film things during that time, which I think she means that. But
got to be that. Yeah, there's no cost when they were filming.
Oh yeah, Harry Goaz says they sent me like someone did a like really good Photoshop of him. Dick Tremaine, and Wally, and it was called My Two Dads, like a Twin Peaks spin-off, but
okay.
Kimmy said you would definitely watch it, so it's an idea. And Michael Cera is in the new Black Mirror for a short period.
Oh, nice. That's very cool.
Cracking up when he turned up. That was.
I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
And they put him in like charge of everything, like making these sorts of. I mean, it is pretty realistic in terms of what's happening now, where people are making.
Yeah.
I've seen like musicians who are indie musicians and stuff using this AI stuff to make videos and things, and
I use none of that. Just
for my taste, I don't really. I'm not mad on it, but I can see
it's just learning so fast. It started out with like cheesy stick figure Seinfeld, and within a month or two, it was making like films that actually have feeling and meaning to them, and it's just really like the improvement scale is unbelievable.
They've made like an actual. Somebody's made a proper like beer commercial with it, and but it looks like everyone's sort of like consuming.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Beer and
what a nightmare that commercial!
That's what a nightmare. It's coming like a surreal.
It doesn't make people never drink beer, basically.
I swear people spelling fire in that commercial. It's the one I saw.
Maybe someone else did another version. I don't know, but it's
ridiculous.
It can't do drinking things like when they did that the Cooper, and he's like, I love coffee, and they did Callum's voice. It sounded really like him.
The voice stuff is eerie because they could do the voice stuff really well.
Yeah. But it's like he's consuming, like eating the cups, or like then he's putting one cup in with one hand, then the other hand comes up with another cup. Like, that's definitely someone who likes coffee.
AI will have like 3 arms or 6 fingers usually, or more multiple fingers. It's ridiculous.
Yes, but in trust me, by next
you'll learn. Yeah, the AI took him out.
I just want to go back, and Ashton's saying she's been talking about this in the chat sometimes, and I've said it like that. I don't see the return as season 3 as such, because I don't see it as being like a close continuation of it, like 25 years later. It's something else, but at the same time, I don't see it as standalone as you see it, and I do think it is a return in I think that's a good title for it, because it's like basically evoking that kind of thing that I was talking about with the psychoanalytical aspect of it, the return of the repressed. It's like all these years have gone by, and you think, okay, I want to see Sarah Palmer like kind of, I don't know, living a mundane life where she goes to the supermarket and doesn't start like talking about turkey jerky and buying loads of vodka and tomato juice and Zoe McClane in it. She says like, what? And she's actually said, she's just put on Twitter saying, I would love for there to be more Twin Peaks so I can be in it again and everything. And I put like, oh, you should definitely get like a bigger role in and all this kind of thing. And she says, oh, I'd love that. So I said, just her line delivery and everything. I'm pleased that I've been able to have a conversation with her because I thought that somehow she's been warned off me for someone. I mean, why anyone would be that would happen. I'm not saying Cameron warned her off me.
Oh my God, he's not accusing nobody, but he's not saying.
I'm only joking. I mean, I'm sure she can do whatever she wants online, but you know, if you've been in a show and you're like literally in like one scene, you know, you might not start doing like 4-hour broadcasts about Twin Peaks. So.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I don't see The Return as being like some kind of separate thing to Twin Peaks. Like, just as I don't say Fire With Me, because it is so much about Twin Peaks, for sure.
What does The Return mean?
Yeah, where do we return?
The return of what?
Well, like I said, The Return of the Repressed. It's about everything goes full circle to the point where, especially if you deny things in you, or you know, trauma and all this kind of thing, it carries on. They say that with people's trauma, you can actually transfer that if you have children, for instance. I don't know how that's possible, but I think it's believable. It's genetic, isn't it?
Maybe through behavior, how you behave. I guess like don't watch you behave and then.
Yeah, but I do think that, like, you know, say if you have a child and it's a baby and everything, it's like it's definitely got, you know, an aspect of you already in it. Innate, I would argue.
You talk about nature versus nurture.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that nurture is a massive impact, but and the events that happen to them. But it's an interesting area. I do think
definitely.
Do you think, like on even like a molecular level or anything, that trauma is like a real thing? It's not just sort of
to the person receiving it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the behavior of people in different countries and things like that, there's definitely something in it. You know, I'm not talking. I don't mean specifically on a racial level or anything like that, but the things a country's been through. Like with our country, we've just got like you know, on a genetic level, we have an obsession with sort of like having a nice cup of tea and then drinking it and then, you know, worshipping the Queen.
Yeah. Okay. And
now, since the Queen is no longer with us, we're like left.
You don't know what to do.
Totally bereft.
Just wandering.
So these people
what do we do?
So these people standing out of Starbucks and going on about, I don't give a shit about the king. What about you? I mean, come on, he doesn't compare to the Queen. I know it's a son, but Jesus, he's a complete doll, and he's got sausage fingers. They actually had that on the Daily Star, like tabloid newspaper. They called him Sausage Fingers, King Sausage Fingers. It's probably from some kind of. It's to do with
a bit like Small Hands,
like water retention or something. No, it's like, you know. I once went walking up this really big steep hill with my brother when it was he was before he was going to get married and stuff, and his friends who I didn't know, and like I didn't take any water with me and stuff, and walking up, my hands started getting like really like.
Oh my God!
Like,
did you get stung by a bee, James?
No, that's happened before as well.
Oh,
I did get stung on my arm by something or some plant bit and.
Some plant bit you, huh?
No, a plant, you know, stung me on my right arm, and my arm got really big, and I was like looking at it, thinking,
"Were you impressed by it?"
I'm like really pumped.
Meanwhile, you're getting poisoned or something.
Mm-hmm. So I had to go to the hospital for that. Asked them what to do.
Yeah,
and then at the same time, I've run out of earbuds or whatever, so I thought, I've got like a hair grip, and I'll put some paper on it.
Oh,
put it in my ear. Pulled it out. All the toilet paper was inside my ear, deep inside.
You can't do that.
I was just sitting there for a while, like going, I'll just watch TV. It'll come out. I thought, oh, I've got to walk up to the hospital again. I was really lucky, to be honest, that there was a hospital very close.
You're lucky you didn't puncture your eardrum. Once that happens, forget about it, man.
No, I know. It's not a good thing. You shouldn't really shove anything in your ears.
Never, yeah. Not even Q-tips, never.
Don't start buying these things off the internet where you can.
Oh, yeah.
I've been tempted where you can actually see inside the ear.
I know.
That's like hardcore ear penetration.
If you have ear issues, go to your doctor. They have all the equipment you need to whatever. Yeah. See a professional, definitely.
You know,
we need some earwax anyway. So, in a sense, it's a bit like evil and things. Like everybody has a little bit of evil in them, but it's about being able to balance that out. And
I honestly think most people walk around and have thoughts, but because of the way society has been in the last 200 plus years, or maybe 2,000 years, age of Pisces. It's. I mean, let's be honest. How many times in your life were you told, we don't talk about that, or you don't express this, or
you're talking about pre-programming, but what I would contradict that. I would say people are so busy with their lives they don't have time to think, and that's the problem. Because once you do start thinking, you start questioning stuff. So if you're distracted,
they still have dreams and stuff. So sometimes you can have dreams that are sort of like, oh, where did that come from?
Right. Right. It's obviously.
I mean, I've had dreams where I've committed a murder. And
sure, you have.
No, and like the body is somewhere.
Like I don't think I've ever had that, but anyway, continue.
Well, I think it showed. No, I've read about some other people who've had this kind of dream, and it's like it's to do with guilt for sure. It doesn't mean you've actually.
It's all
killed
subconscious. Anyone. No, it's all subconscious. Yeah.
I've not had that kind of dream for a long time, but I think even if you have that kind of dream, it's kind of a good sign that you're working it out. But it helps if you've got someone to talk to about it, probably.
Were you killing me in your dream?
Luckily, I didn't have any kind of dream where it was like me killing anyone. No, it was just about the body and like putting it somewhere where it was always like
where to put the body.
The body would be somewhere, and then someone inevitably finds it, and it's like it's somewhat decomposed, and so it's. The whole dream is about a kind of how the past and everything and the residue of everything is still there. It's like
you should never let the past haunt you. You should always.
That's my point about the pic. That's my point about the picture.
Well, you can't help it though. It's like if you're haunted by things, but it's. Sometimes it's like you need to exercise those things. I don't mean like
you got to. No, but you're right. You have to individually figure out this issue, and then this, and then tackle that.
Because you're holding on to it. Because in some way, it's like
I agree.
Obviously, it troubles you, but you feel somehow responsible. But we're not responsible for everything that goes on around us.
No,
or people we knew, and
no.
I mean, we are responsible if we have literally killed someone and buried them. Yes, that is.
Yeah, that seems like you've taken. Yeah, but if you just living your life and then people are just.
I don't mean to say that as if it's funny because it's obviously if someone does that.
I got a dark humor. I found
that's funny. Not amusing. And then, like, somebody's walking along with a dog and they find, like...
he grabs the hand, and it's like the movie House, and he runs with it. Oh, my God.
No, I do think, actually, when you think about talking about films like that were sort of horror comedy, I suppose.
Horror comedy, yeah. Very
like, a lot of those kind of things were sort of... And I watched that film, with Rupert Everett. Is it Rupert Everett?
I'm bad with
Delamore, or the one where he's looking after the graveyard.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was like I was particularly loving the film, but it's interesting how it's so sort of offhand and crazy in its depiction of all this sort of like bodies and dismemberment and kind of like. Like films are not like that now. Horror films, they're too
safe or too.
They are kind of sanitized, I think.
Very much so. They don't have fun with it. They don't have fun moments. They don't have those standout moments.
What I don't understand is why did Devon keep coming in this chat going on about is anybody looking forward to seeing any Evil Dead Rise?
No.
And then it came out and everything, and he's never even watched it, and never even gave us any feedback. It's.
Can I gotta run and start getting ready, but I had a question for Johnny. So Johnny, you saw the Flash.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, when they go to Michael Keaton's reality, is there any kind of production design in that reality that looks anything like a Tim Burton world?
They've tried to homage it as best they can. It looked good. It did. That's what I mean. The theater I saw, that's when the people would start cheering like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So those moments you'll very much enjoy. If you're obviously a fan of Batman, so you'll very much enjoy those scenes.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron said earlier, like, I know he's making a talking point, and he has got a point. And he's saying, like, nobody nowadays remembers, none of the youngsters out there, like, remember Michael Keaton. But a lot of them do, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
They watch the old, if they like, say, the Batman.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, 15 now, you might go back and watch the old ones.
Yeah, you're right.
Then maybe you're not immediately jumping into Batman and Robin, but you'd go back to like Tim Burton.
You're right.
Because it's considered such a good film.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the second one is one of the better Batman films ever.
Batman Returns? Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. It's the most stylish and sort of.
I love Catwoman in that.
Just,
if they would have just stayed away from the McDonald's advertising, I feel like it could have worked out.
I remember that as a kid. That was.
I don't know.
All right, guys, I'll be listening offline. I gotta roll.
Okay. Take it easy,
wishing you well, and thank you for coming on.
Stay safe. Take care.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Mandela's mic and everything has just improved as he leaves.
Yeah, it was incredible before he left. Yeah, I know.
I have to try and remind myself of anything that Marlena, who's been on some videos in the past with me, has recommended the show Them that she said she liked.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's called Them. But I haven't really watched much of that, so. Let me just check what other things I've watched. Have you been watching anything else other than the?
Dune, The Hidden, The Flash, Flash, and I swear there was one more that I actually threw in. What was it? It'll come to me, but and next on my mind, I really want to revisit Eraserhead. It's been long enough for me. I haven't watched it in a while, so I really want to revisit that. Moonshine Highway, yeah, that was another movie I saw. Another Kyle MacLachlan movie.
When was Moonshine Highway made?
Ooh, I think in the 90s, I believe. I can give you the exact 2 seconds. I'll let you know exactly. Good cast, really good cast. I can send you the link after if you're interested. It's on YouTube for free.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, very cool about the during Prohibition and that time. It's very good. Okay, here it is. So it was from. Let it load. Okay. I swear it should show here. 1996. It's got Kyle MacLachlan, Randy Quaid. Really good cast.
Have you ever heard of a film called The Falling? It's got Maisie Williams and Florence Pugh is in it. It's 2015. The Falling.
Check that out. What's it about?
It's really good. Really good. It's about a girls' school in 1969, it says, where a kind of mysterious fainting outbreak starts occurring. It's an all-girls school. So,
okay. Oh yeah, the Flintstones. I also saw the Flintstones this week too. Sorry, just to throw that in.
Oh, great. Well, interesting watching.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, huh? Well, Kyle MacLachlan seems to be a theme for all the films. So
No, I've not watched the Bumblebee Flies anyway. Is that an early one with Elijah Wood, or I looked it up? I can't remember who was in it. It's a kind of a early 90s or
yeah, I haven't heard
sort
this
of
one.
rite of passage type thing.
Oh, okay.
And I was mentioning things that I wondered if you might respond to in the chat, Ashton, about you're sort of differentiating in terms of Twin Peaks and then The Return, for instance. You want to separate it or something. For me, I don't see that. I don't think that's true. I think it's all one thing. You know, it's all coming from the same place, but it's just differently approached at times. I do think that The Return is definitely way less eager to please than the original show. You know, when the original Twin Peaks came out, one review actually says, "What does Twin Peaks have in its pretty little head other than being eager to please?" You know, this kind of thing. And I mean, that kind of comment, there's some truth in it, at least initially with the show, I think, at times. But that was part of the enjoyment with it. You know, it was so just generally enjoyable as a show. But kind of as it went along, it became, you know, went off in all these different directions. And especially with so many different people directing it, that's, I mean, it definitely had some disturbing aspects, but
I always gonna say, like, people who put down the second season, I go, that's where the majority of the mythology comes from. The Owl Cave, the Red Room, you could just Dweller on the Threshold. You could just keep naming stuff that just keeps. It's all introduced in the second season or the latter half.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't say that about any of Twin Peaks. I think it's all.
Oh no, I'm not talking. Yeah,
it's all good, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Going back to like with my talks with Cameron over many videos on his channel, we used to just be looking at doing each episode and all that kind of thing, and talking about the James Hurley stuff and just the Annie stuff, of course, and how much we enjoyed it all overall. I've got to say, yeah, one of the big things for me was the difference between each episode, tonally and the style and everything. Like bringing in a different director each week, you could tell that there was something each episode, tone, flavor, basically.
Yeah,
that sounds a bit like something like Bobby Brown would say or something, but not flavor with an flav. FLAVA. I don't mean like that. It had its own charms, basically. You know, some episodes, yes, obviously in the second season, some episodes were not quite as either charming or as they didn't seem as great as other ones. Like, but I think even the worst episode of season 2 were still really enjoyable. Really,
oh, incredible! Yeah,
it's just you had to give it a chance because it kind of had to pick up from where it was and go towards, you know, they think that they maybe should have had it more sort of faster into getting into the Windermere story and everything. Perhaps that should have happened, but I mean, it could have been quite okay to not have any of the James story where he goes out of town.
That almost feels like it's like a spin-off series. Like it almost becomes its own show for a bit, you know.
Yeah, not the best one either. No. I mean, it felt like it was made by the same production crew at Twin Peaks, so it had some kind of good production quality.
Yeah.
Like the lightning was going off outside his house. That house he was staying with Evelyn, and there's the dodgy brother and all that. And there's some really good shots, but yeah, it's just like why are we following this? It's not that interesting, is it? And it really has nothing to do with the original.
No, it became an embodiment of Invitation to Love almost, but it started happening in the show. You know what I mean? Like when they were watching that in the first series in the background, all of a sudden this storyline became that. You know, it was kind of like that. You
know? Okay. I don't think he's trapped in the Black Lodge forever, Ashton. That's a bit bleak. But I don't know what you mean by about all the characters seem so different. Different version of the original characters. I think they're a portrayal of like the effects of a somewhat comical at times, or even slightly bleak portrayal of sort of not bleak. That's not quite the right word. Like a slight parody, and then also a alienating view of, say, where Andy and Lucy are at this stage.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they put the padding in for Andy, so he's got like this belly sticking out and stuff. It made him look kind of.
It weirdly resembles the guy sitting in the chair at Carrie Page's house. Why? Why do they have that fake belly thing?
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it's just. It's not. I don't think you're seeing Andy and Lucy as they genuinely are now. Like the whole thing is some kind of. I'll just say it's all a dream, basically. But
yeah,
I mean, on some level, because when he's there in the woods and everything, and he manages to pick up Nido and then come out and everything after being taken up into the fireman's place.
Yeah,
he's basically he all of a sudden says he starts talking in like a fast pace that we've never heard him talk in the show in The Return at all so far before.
Yeah.
So it's constantly shifting between these different sort of states, and it's like as if Andy being taken up into that fireman's palace or whatever, it's just been injected with all these insights into something heavenly,
Yeah.
Well, and he sees the three poles. They both might be the same pole. I don't know, but I think they're three different ones, and they've got the sixes on them. So, I mean, I don't know what it's telling him, but it seems like it's showing him something quite important there and serious. I don't necessarily think it's trying to communicate something about the devil or something, but some kind of evil plan or something. So, but he says about Nido that people want to kill her, and it's like, okay, and he's just suddenly speaking in this way, which is basically like Cooper, that kind of, and so why did he suddenly become like that all of it?
Well, but then right after we're talking, they're like, what happened? I don't remember.
Yeah, and like with Gordon Cole, even he's acting differently in some ways, for sure, compared to how he was seen in Fire With Me and in the show.
He's acting more like Cooper. He's eating donuts. He's having coffee. He's saying things Cooper would say.
It's a good point.
Cameron wants to pop in, I think.
Okay, I'll just give him the link. Thank you for telling me.
No problem.
I'm giving him the right link. We won't do like an immensely long show or anything because
no worries.
I mean we've already done that previous one, and
yeah,
more than what. I think with Twin Peaks, like for instance, the director of photography or the editor, Robert Engels said. Bob Engels, he said like the Fire With Me is all a dream. So I mean, he said it kind of a little bit off the cuff, but the farther and farther away we get from like that original Twin Peaks, the whole show becomes dreamlike, doesn't it? In many ways.
Yeah, it gets more distant and blurred, and everything becomes kind of.
Hello there, Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
Hello. I saw you guys were on. I saw James without a shirt on. I said, what a perfect time to say hi.
That's the time.
Well, it's because we've got quite temperate weather here, and
when you started your first show today, I didn't see any video, but I saw you were live, and I heard water, and I said, "Oh my God, James is doing a Father's Day bath for everybody."
No. Well, my brother's wife, he said he was talking about me doing a video in the bath, and she went, Oh, really? Like this?
Really?
It's not really the response I wanted. I wanted something like, "Oh, I want to watch that."
Instead of disgust and dismay and
Yeah. Well, she sounded discouraged, I would say. So.
Well, thank you, Ashton. I appreciate it.
I saw that you recently reviewed Boxing Helena.
Yeah, I did a. It was like a 2-hour review, and I posted it, and I rewatched it, and I realized that I basically was saying the same thing over and over again for about 45 minutes. So I went in and re-edited it.
Oh, okay.
so I don't look like a complete moron through the
Well, that's like every one of my videos, except I'm saying that within about 15 minutes, and then I can't remember what I've said the past 15 minutes.
I still think that if you took your long videos, James, downloaded them, and cut them up into like smaller conversations and reposted them, I think they would get a lot more views.
Well, to be honest, I'm going more with the tactic of last week's video where it's 29 minutes, and I'm just going to basically title every video Twin Peaks is definitely coming back. I promise you, part 2. And then I'll just post it on Carl McLaughlin's Twitter.
Clickbait works.
I know that's the reality of it all.
It's so sad. I know.
You know, I mean, I reposted a video from that I recorded like 4 years ago where I was talking about when I met Chris Isaac. It's like over 500 views. I'm like, okay, like this was.
Oh, but you know, these things are people may have not seen before. So
sure. But
you are getting new subscribers. Like I got some new subscribers and tried writing to all of them, no response. So I don't know.
Writing to all of them.
That's not entirely fair. What happens is I lose 10 and then I gain 10 and then I lose 10. Then so it's the same 10 back and forth.
Well, yeah, I had to tell a certain somebody to stop writing to me about your political videos and saying, you know, like, why are you? They're asking me, you know, like, why are you saying this, that, and the other? And it's like, one, why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Secondly, I agree with Cameron anyway, I would say.
I know.
Despite, you know, I'm not American or anything, so I don't.
I think what happened was this person that was criticizing you, they were watching the videos too, and they saw you post in the live chat, and so they were like, "Oh, what's this going on?" So that's why.
Yeah, I know, but it's just sometimes it does beg a belief when somebody's following the channel for, like, following your channel specifically for 10 years. Then I've got a channel, so they can message me. But like everything seems to be about monitoring, you know, this, that, and the other, and kind of saying, "Oh, Cameron said that wouldn't it have been so bad if one of those Secret Service agents' gun went off? Well, you didn't say this, but blew Trump's head off or something like that."
Oh my God.
So I'm elaborating it because I think that would be better. And then his head went flying through the air and then landed.
Like Willem Dafoe and Wild Heart.
Like, I mean, I'm saying, like, and I responded with, like, well, can't he just say whatever he wants? Like, because it's, you know, if it's not meant, if it's got humor attached to it, I don't think anything you're saying is way as inflammatory as things that these people have said. So
yeah,
I think what people don't seem to realize out there is like we're, you know, like us three and a bunch of other people we know in our lives, we're in contact with each other. We can reach out and talk to each other whenever, but it's not like we all get together on a daily basis and scheme and plan how can we screw up the, you know, YouTube today. So,
exactly.
So
no, it's like I've said, you know, okay, right, Davrin, I know you love those videos we did in 2013 or whatever about Twin Peaks before it came back and stuff. But those days, they're not suddenly going to occur again, you know. So it's just some people are just so divorced from what is what is the reality of what are the reality? Like, if you want to do political videos, for instance, I think it's good, especially with who you've got on now, your guest. So I forgot what her name is.
Well, they don't. I mean, the thing is that I'm basically trying to make Google Analytics like piss themselves on a daily basis, not knowing what kind of channel it is, because what happened is that the channel just is got deemed David Lynch Twin Peaks. So if I put out a Twin Peaks video, it gets traction. But if I put out a video talking about Married to the Mob, 50 people see it, even though I have like nearly, a lot of subs. So it's not pushing that stuff out there. So what I'm trying to do is just upload everything I can think of that I can do out there. And then every once in a while I sprinkle in a little Twin Peaks David Lynch stuff just to kind of keep the analytic happy, but just to push it out there. And I get people sometimes say, why are you doing these political shows? And it's like, okay, they're titled correctly, so you don't have to watch them. It's not like I'm tricking you. I'm not saying David Lynch says this and then I'm talking about Trump. So you don't have
I'm not, I would say, like, as far as politics nowadays and everything is concerned, I don't have any massive personal stake in it, other than the fact that in terms of conservatism and everything, like this idea that, and it seems to be ingrained in a lot of these people, that they literally want things to be the same as they were in like 1940 or something. Or they think like, why can't things all just be like how they used to be? This kind of idea.
We're African Americans and people who didn't just fit into the white narrative didn't speak up. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's not just that. It's like more about the sort of idea of, like people being openly gay, or like the whole thing. Like even Trump said it himself recently, like 5 years, with his like voice sort of like sounding like it's all broken and like, 5 years ago, you wouldn't even be bothered about all these, transgenders, but now you're going crazy about it. And it's like, okay, that's actually him saying something which is true. Like he's using this cynically as this kind of vote winner. Like 5 years ago, nobody cared about any of this stuff. Now there's these like blooming transgender people coming to get your kids constantly, all the time. And that is just, all they're doing is just hate mongering, aren't they? And fear mongering.
Oh yeah, that the current version of the Republican Party at some point soon is going to completely implode. It's going to be destroyed like the Whig Party was in the 1800s, and another party will have to rise in its weight.
When I actually saw that picture of DeSantis in those boots and everything, I thought he was transgender. So that was, and I thought that was a good move. Like,
well, you know what they say: if you're so hateful towards gay people and transgender people, you're probably
Trump is like the campest person imaginable. Like, but anyway, I don't want to talk about
that's all right
stuff.
But
it's just
all right. Jack Smith is going to take this guy down. So.
I like how you're drinking Canada Dry. Appreciate that.
I think it's important that people realize that things have to go forward, not backwards.
It's ginger. Sure. It's ginger ale with raspberry lemonade.
Oh wow, that looks awesome. Very cool.
So
can't get that here.
It's a Costco thing.
I don't know why you have to be making me angry showing that.
Making me angry.
So you sent me actually that thing about Kimmy Robertson mentioning, and I did see the video in the end because somebody posted it on Reddit.
Okay.
Then I think I saw it on the Tulpa forum, as well, with the old Dugpa as it was. And she did say that. She did say, alongside, everything stops during the COVID, that they couldn't do anything. So a lot was on the cutting room floor, as she said. So,
well, that's the thing that's really confusing is she's saying two things at once. She's saying there's things on the cutting room floor, and then she also says COVID, but they filmed in 2016, like 4 years before COVID.
Precisely, but she knows that. Kimmy Robertson is 68, and she's not like, as far as I'm aware, she's completely in control of her, brain. So. Sure. She just, I've got a very good brain, in fact.
I wonder if this criterion set, when it finally gets announced, are they going to be releasing deleted scenes with season 3? Because they're going to have to do something to make people buy it again, right? Besides it just being all in 4K.
Just, the only way that can really get people, I mean, there's going to be a lot of fans who'll just buy it anyway, but
sure,
yeah,
to really sell it to everybody, you've got to have like the missing final episode or something, because it didn't feel like a final episode at all. I honestly think that, and I'll stand by that.
They might say with an exclusive, alternate ending, and the alternate ending will be Cooper and Laura getting into the car and driving away.
Yes, exactly.
No, it'll be red in a bush masturbating.
Why?
Oh no, because he was on set.
Oh, was it? Okay.
At the last minute, Lynch said, "No, I don't think I'll do that scene."
I'll just pan away from that.
It's too controversial.
No one will get it. No one will understand.
Cooper just looks around and can see a bush shaking.
I think the best part, Johnny, was that while he was in the bushes doing it, the camera then went up from his buttocks to a spinning coin up in the air.
Oh my God! Yeah, where did it go?
Well, that's a really good scene, actually. Thanks for reminding me of that one. Yeah, it's one of the best scenes probably in the show.
Really, that's your stand.
Not the buttocks bit though. That's too controversial for TV.
I think it's one of the best because I've never seen David Lynch have a kind of bigger African American guy with a machine gun standing in the background ever in a movie.
Oh, I know. My God,
I wanted a big Michael Bay action set piece with that.
Yeah, yeah. Or everyone just having Tommy guns or just RPGs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, and actually, Red just turned to Cooper and said, "Who knew Laura'd still look so good in tight jeans?"
But James, right before the literal climax of the scene, he has to look up to the heavens and scream, "This is the girl."
This is the he yells it out.
Definitely. Making everything clear. And then instead of that shot of Laura actually
that's why she's screaming. She's looking over to the bushes. That's
where she's talking into Cooper's ear in slow motion. It's actually just got a shot of Cooper in the red room. Holding onto the tree, the evolution of the arm, and masturbating as well.
Okay, yeah.
Well, there's hints of this from the very beginning in season 1 when we see Cooper's dream and he looks and he sees the little man masturbating in the room. I mean, his back is to us and he's shaking.
He literally does. He's like that. And there's been serious analysis where they compare the little man. It's like a name for your dog. And like the giant.
Well, what's the big man? What's the giant? What's the giant?
He is the erect penis.
Oh, okay.
And
with the bald head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people put suits on their penises.
Then the evolution? So the evolution of a phallic symbol is a tree. Like, how does this happen?
Yeah, how does that go?
No, but when they would have this slow zoom into Cooper's.
Okay.
He would have he would have had a foreskin removal, and
oh my God.
in the Black Lodge, and then when they go into the bell, when the camera zooms into the bell end, they've put on a CGI shot of Michael Janison just saying,
"Oh, come on,
what happened to Josie?"
Well, maybe all of the season 3 is all about. Maybe all of season 3 is about STDs. I mean, when they start making out on the couch, Judy attacks them. I mean, maybe there's a reason why it starts off with "It's in our house now." It's like you've now contracted some disease.
Oh my God.
Well, I may as well answer the chat in terms of what Ashton's saying. I wouldn't say it's exactly something which I would make into a theory, because Lynch said himself that he wanted to spend more time in certain scenes, but I think the reality of that was that he's just older now and he's just expressing his frustrations. I think if they'd had double the length of time to make the return, it really wouldn't have kind of turned out a lot different than it did. mean, it might have had a few more scenes in like these amazing ones we were imagining, but
Yeah,
It probably went 4 more episodes, probably.
yeah, I mean, it would have still been very much like I was watching episode 14, part 14 last night, and it's like that episode is good, but it's so sort of like dreamy, slow, and everything in it is so weird and just kind of like there's literally not much in it you can go and like kind of think, oh, this is like really happening now or something, you know. And then the next episode starts with Nadine with the shovel, and so it's immediately switching to something that you kind of think, okay, this is kind of, I can see this happening. Nadine would do this, sort of, you know.
Would she? Yeah.
I thought she was just gonna like kill Ed in front of everybody. With that
She just snapped or something.
It was quite threatening. And it's a bit like alarming that she has to sort of release him. You know, like that Ed is just completely trapped by Nadine. Like, you know, she's his jailer basically. It's like the way he is with her a bit in The Return. It's like she comes in and she's like whipping him and everything. You know, get down on all fours, Ed, and then
yeah,
it's probably like spit roasting him with Dr. Jacoby or something.
oh my god.
I was only joking about you going with that bitch at the diner.
They should have had a moment where, like, Mike walks by her and she says, "Hello, Mike," or something like that, and a little wink.
Yeah, I mean, my take on what you're saying, Ashton, in terms of him being so traumatized by the making of The Return, I don't really think it traumatized him as much as it was tiring. And, you know, like, he didn't take a long break after making Inland Empire because he was somehow traumatized by that, you know.
I was.
Yeah, but I mean, he's clear. He's not interested in just being Steven Spielberg or something, you know, making a film every couple of years or whatever. It's just
okay. So I'm ready now, and yeah, a tree is wood, right? So it's kind of.
Okay, how's it going, bro?
I was just curious.
As in, I've got wood.
That was the first thing I heard. But it's like, hey guys, I got wood.
So since you guys brought up the politics,
Not funny.
I just want to
Come on.
No, I'm saying to myself, I'm not funny.
As a guy who grew up like a Kennedy Democrat and then ended up voting, you know, for Obama twice and then Trump. I have talked to a lot of Kennedy Democrats in my family who also voted for Trump,
got a pig there,
who are ready to go back to RFK Jr. So I just would like to, I'd love to hear Cameron's thoughts on RFK Jr.
RFK Jr.'s campaign is being funded by Steve Bannon, and the whole point is to decipher votes away from Biden so that Trump wins.
I'm telling you, though, as an independent, I'm so ready to go back. He makes me comfortable to go back.
The party unstable anti-vaxxer makes you comfortable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But you can't just constantly go back. You have to go forwards.
Yes, I agree.
Well, then it's sticking with Trump. I'm just telling you guys, as
why
canvassing around and getting people's thoughts and stuff. That's what it is.
What does Trump do for your life?
That's not really going forward.
I always point back to the policies, and when he was president, I was able to afford a $5,000 pinball machine from extra money that trickled down to the Social Security disability that I get.
Wouldn't that be the same under any government?
Well, no. Bush gave us, you know, Bush W. He gave us like some, I don't know, like $100 to try.
This sounds a bit absurd. Buying a $5,000 pinball machine. I mean,
well, I'm stuck in the house.
Most people wouldn't say this. This is why I vote for this person because I got a $5,000 pinball machine.
Well, it's
made my
extra.
life
It's extra
immeasurably
income.
better.
It's extra income, and the gas, you know, was at $185.
But let me ask you this. Yeah. So you're telling me you're comfortable with, like, if Trump came back, you're okay living under a dictatorship? I just want to make it very clear.
Well, I don't see it that way.
But he won't leave. He's not going to leave until he dies. You know that, right? I just want to make sure you know that.
Our side is probably a lot of us are thinking the same thing about your side. That's all hyper.
But we can prove that Trump has done nothing but break laws.
Like, name one.
There's like 37 counts.
He's up for 400 years in prison right now just for the documents case. Wait till January 6th and Georgia comes. He's going to have 400 indictments.
I'm sure you remember the Sox case and everything, right? You're old enough.
Are you talking about Bill Clinton? Are you bringing up Bill Clinton stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with nothing to do with anything of this situation.
Let's not get too heated about it.
No, I'm just saying, why are you bringing up something about Bill Clinton's case?
YouTube loves, but
yes, every president has had documents, and especially it was specifically Bill Clinton.
It's not about having the documents; it's about he didn't want to return them. He flooded the pool to erase the computer servers so people couldn't see people.
But like let's. I mean, come on, Hillary Clinton and bleach bit. You don't want to go there with that.
No, I'm just saying that like this. I mean, for whatever reason, you are a Trumper. It's a cult. I get it.
I'm so ready to go back.
That's right.
If they would just
into the Black Lodge,
But RFK is not a Democrat,
bro. Come on,
he's not. Look, okay, you're all into conspiracy theories. Look into who's funding his campaign. No Labels is a Steve Bannon outfit, and he's also being funded by that white guy that loves dictators that funds Clarence Thomas. Like he's one of the main funders of the whole.
I'll look into it, but if your source is coming from one of these newspapers that's been lying their ass off for like.
Okay, so if my source was Joe Rogan, you would accept that?
No, not necessarily.
All right. Well, then who is the source?
Joe's a monkey to me, bro.
But who is a source that I have to quote for you to even think that I'm telling you?
Someone who has been accurate.
Like Breitbart is like who else? Breitbart's not accurate. It's a white supremacist organization.
Okay, so
see. You don't want to.
You don't.
You've been living in your house for far too long. You don't
want me to keep. Trust me. You don't want me to keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd love you to keep going because I can.
All right. Where's your evidence that's a white supremacist?
Have you seen the people who write for that site? What are their backgrounds? Where do they? What are their beliefs? Where have they posted publicly on forums? So
you tell me. I'm not a 4chaner. I'm not a Redditor.
But that's where they go.
I don't go to Twitter. I've never been on Twitter.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, you're asking me to tell you things. I'm telling you things, and you're like, well, I don't understand. I'm not there.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
I don't care if you're there or not. I'm telling you what you want to know.
You know how like Vice News is dying, is pretty much dead, and because they lied so much. These people lied so much that we don't trust their sources. Like, we just don't trust them anymore. I mean, you got to understand that, Cameron. That the mainstream media has lost its credibility.
I haven't credited one mainstream media source since we started talking.
Okay, so who are you talking about, this white supremacist?
Are you telling me that Breitbart is a legitimate
who are you talking about?
No, I'm just asking you a question. Is Breitbart a legitimate news site?
Hey, bro, I have not been there in years since actual Andrew Breitbart was alive.
Then why are you defending it?
I have not. I don't. That's not a news source for me.
But why defend it?
I'm not. It's not a news source. It's not a news source.
Then just say, okay, great, and move on. Like, why do I have to defend it?
No, I'm asking you. You brought up white supremacists. Who is a white supremacist? That's all.
Well,
easy
a lot. I don't read the site. Well, again,
see how it works both ways.
No. But the people who write for the site are
what?
Like, that's not
okay.
independent journalism.
Like who?
Huh?
Like who? So I can look into it and actually verify what you're saying.
Here's the thing: you don't have any stake in it. You tell me you don't read the site, you don't look at the site. So why do I have to like prove?
You're telling me how it's a white supremacist organization and I shouldn't be looking at it. So I already don't look at it, and it's a non-issue.
And why are you getting so argumentative about it? Just say, okay,
no,
cool.
I'm not argumentative. I'm just asking you.
You're asking me to decide
what you're talking about.
Okay.
Come on, let's discuss something.
The people who write for that site have been exposed.
Who?
Oh, come on, you just keep asking the same question.
Why do you care? Why don't you just say, okay, Cameron, I believe you?
Because I want to. I would like you to give me a name so I can actually verify what you're saying, so I can get on your side and be down.
Well, why don't you do your own research and get back to me? Because I'm sure you can.
Okay, all right. I'll look into it. On another note, besides JFK or RFK Jr., are you guys buying the fake alien stuff that's been going on this week?
Well, let's keep things on the same.
It's an amazing 180. Amazing 180.
Well, it's a big story this week with the Vegas.
I remember 2 weeks ago with the Vegas stuff. I didn't know if there was newer stuff this week.
There's been alien stuff for the last 6 months, ever since they came out and they.
I don't know. I saw some footage where they had like the funniest thing that I saw was there was supposed to be aliens inside, basically like a digger lorry or truck kind of thing, and they're hiding in the truck. I mean, why would they be hiding in a truck?
Yeah, like they came
here, like looking out with big eyes,
like they came here to farm and they're interested in the tractor
trailer. No, this is more like they were, in a builder's yard with like.
Well, I've seen the videos of them like on the water and seeing like something just like dive into the water. But
yeah,
you would think with the modern 4K cameras we have, we'd be able to capture something.
That's been revealed as.
Why is everything so blurry all the time?
This is why Steven Spielberg. I'm sorry, James.
That was actually. He's actually admitted to it that was whilst he was on his travels. He was captured by his friend Aaron. It was Scott Ryan doing like water body surfing and stuff. So,
but that was one of the things that Steven Spielberg has cited as being a reason why he's kind of stopped believing in extraterrestrials after ET is because once the home video camera became right, that all of a sudden all the UFO sightings kind of stopped that had been going on in the 60s and 70s and all that.
Right.
Right. And now we have all these 4K cameras, and yet everything is just like blurry thing that you can.
Absolutely, dude.
I mean, do I believe there's other life out there? Yes. Do I think it's happening right now around us that's captured? I don't know. I mean,
I think it's more likely that they either do live underwater in the ocean or in Antarctica than coming from, hearing a million times that, this Drake equation that there's a million planets and all that. It just doesn't hold water to me. Like,
what about the fact that what I heard, and this is probably 99.9% true, and I've heard many people talking about, they've come up to me with like tears in their eyes saying, "Sir, they live in Uranus." And I said,
"Oh, come on.
No, they're in my bathroom, okay? I've got all the box files in there spattered with urine."
But I'm bumped.
Or maybe James Cameron was onto something with the abyss, that in the deepest depths of the ocean, there's something.
We all evolved from things in the ocean. I know that I consider myself as like one of those sort of fish that are like dragons.
A specific one.
Like from Avatar: Way of the Water.
Yeah, exactly.
Those dragon things. Like I do actually look a bit like that when I'm robed.
It's on one of my streaming services. I still have no desire to watch that at all.
I watched it. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
You're not even watching it for free.
It's a one-time watch.
No thanks.
It's at least a one-time watch.
Yeah, at least a one. Yeah, like a one-time.
I can't do it, bro.
What about if you're on magic mushrooms?
Nah, it just rubs me the wrong way that they made that a land at Disney World. It just doesn't. It's not.
Well, they're trying to make up for they didn't realize it was going to make money, so they had to come up with a land for it. But now it made money, so they may have to scale back.
Disney just lowered their prices to like $40 a day for residents of Florida and stuff like that. There's nobody down there, nobody in the park, basically.
What about an Indiana Jones world or something? Because Disney has all of the Indiana Jones films now in 4K.
Tony Baxter designed a great Indiana Jones world, but they watered it and cut
Tony Braxton.
Tony Baxter. He was one of their Imagineers. He did design. He designed.
I was surprised that Tony Braxton was involved actually, because she's a good singer though. And
to sum up this little politics thing, I gotta say, Mandela Man, I'm no Trump supporter. However, it's gonna be fun. Let's just listen. Okay. It's gonna be fun watching him beat the living shit out of Ron DeSantis. So.
Yeah.
He's gonna beat the living. You know what? Out of that.
Fuck that guy.
I actually like Ron DeSantis.
Oh my god, he's weird. Oh my god,
he's just so like unable to be normal.
I know. He's an alien.
He's picking his nose and rubbing snot on people in wheelchairs. It's like horrible. His wife's running a better campaign than he is.
His wife is definitely more of a leader.
I mean, no politician is completely
talk about
normal,
a Dougie Jones, huh?
Yeah,
he's just doing like really fake smiles and things, and just
you couldn't be any more phonier than that guy. Yeah.
No, I just want to see. Listen, I want Trump to go down, but I want him to destroy Ron DeSantis first. Like
you want him to take the whole Republican Party down with this.
Well, I do. I honestly, what I want is because Trump needs to win the presidency to get out of all this mess, but he has to first get the nomination. So if anybody else gets the nomination, he is going to burn that place to the ground. And if DeSantis gets it, he's going to send all his MAGAs like the end of Scarface, like over Ron DeSantis' wall.
It's squad, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
I would not know more of that stuff.
I'll tell you what. As a fan of Trump over the past years, I cannot stand that he keeps saying in his speeches how great China is because it kills its drug dealers. You know, if he would just say fentanyl dealers, I think I could get behind that. But to say all drugs, oh my God, it just rubs me so the wrong way, dude. And he's just so adamant about it all the time. It's like,
considering the amount of sniffing he does, he should be. You know.
I know.
He was doing it this last week. It's ridiculous.
Don Jr.'s dealer must be sweating right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's acting crazy. His dad's acting crazy. I don't know. In a way, America.
I think RFK could beat him though, and I do. More than Joe Biden could.
No, our politicians are crazy, but Americans seem to take it to the next level.
If Jack Kennedy's son had lived, then he could have he could have run. You know,
how about the fact? I'm sure you're aware that with the QAnon QB weirdos, that they had a huge rumor. That
I like how you call the QAnon people weirdos.
Phantom Cooper, thank you for sending me this. I've never heard of the band before. Great music.
Oh, really?
You really never heard the BG?
It's kind of like Mark Kermode when he's talking about how he had the best of ABBA growing up, and he goes, "It was amazing. It was like hit after hit after hit." And the guy on Radio 5 says, "Yeah, it was the best of ABBA. It better be hit after hit."
It was the best of.
It was the best of times, the worst of times.
No, I do like some Bee Gees stuff, honestly.
Okay.
Ashton says, "When was America really great?"
Not necessarily all.
It was great in 2017 when Twin Peaks was on the air for 5 months.
Right?
Yeah. Who the what? Jonas Bulbul.
He's great.
Eunice Bulbul.
He's Turkish pop singer.
Yeah, like Cameron was saying, it was
this guy doesn't get the respect he's due for some reason.
I have no idea.
But I think he needs to be
Michael Jackson.
I wish like Trump would come on stage and start doing like a back.
Start dancing, huh?
Like go, hey, that guy Michael, he's good, wasn't he? I like black people, by the way.
Well, he keeps
That would be too much. I would not be able to. What year is this? Is what I'd be saying.
Hey, that Madonna, she was good, wasn't she? You summer. bring on Madonna. Everyone starts screaming. What is that?
Well, I mean, Trump dances to the Village People every chance.
Speaking of Madonna,
he does.
Yeah, whilst wanking 2 men off simultaneously. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I can't unsee that now. Whenever
He literally does. People have made that into.
See that now.
Oh dear. All this kind of stuff. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Is someone going to say to him, like, no, don't do that?
Yeah, you think it's somebody like.
They didn't come out in 2016 and win on the basis of that.
Even his own daughter's running for the hills. She just changed her last name.
No,
there's actually a whole thing called like, where is Melania? And she was spotted going to the salon on the day when his arraignment happened.
Yeah,
whatever.
And he had to pay her to have Easter lunch.
Very supportive.
Wow, yeah, I remember hearing that.
Oh, everybody says
free lunches for everyone. Bye.
And then he leaves the bill for everyone to pay. Yeah.
Everybody says that Michelle is a transgender,
Oh, come on, don't start going that.
But Melania looks like one.
It's like the doing hand of God.
This is just this.
I mean, we've never had a first lady before that has done porn like Melania, so it's good.
I know it's.
It was amazing.
I've looked it up.
Not that I've seen it, but
that's when she was actually a man.
Okay, what? Then you're confusing me.
Well, no. I mean, anyway, any film or TV tips from anybody other than I know everybody here is a massive fan of Upstairs, Downstairs. Oh, no, sorry, that's Davrin.
Padre Pio was
downstairs.
That Padre Pio movie was something else, boys. You should see that.
What's that?
Shia LaBeouf, he plays Padre Pio, who was supposed to become Pope, but instead the guy now became Pope.
Phantom Cooper says nude photography isn't porn. Yes, like legitimate nude photography, but her, like practically doing horrible sex acts to herself on a still photo is still porn.
Yeah, but you're for liberal stuff. So
it's softcore porn. I don't have any personal problem with Melania, really.
I do. She destroyed Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden. I got a real problem with that.
Ooh, yeah.
And she turned it into a Tim Burton Christmas with all those trees.
Yeah, that did look a bit hellish, to be honest, like all red. Yeah.
I like
when she wore that coat that says "I don't really care, do you?"
I don't give a fuck.
It's like what?
Oh,
yeah, is she actually in on this whole thing, or is this? It's like
she in on?
She is the thing with
Trump is basically. All he was in love with the idea of being a president, but he didn't actually know how to be one. So,
remember Gwen Stefani is the one that she's the reason why Trump even ran for president. So,
how's this?
Because she got a raise on The Voice, and Donald Trump felt like he wasn't getting acknowledged and getting paid what his worth was, so he ran for president to get NBC's attention.
Well, started as a joke, yeah.
But then because Trump started saying all these like things about Mexicans and things like that, NBC fired him, and so he had nothing else to do but run for president. And then he started getting backed, and then it went on. I mean, remember that Trump was a Democrat for like 40 years.
That's part of the reason
he supported Hillary Clinton.
That's part of the reason she
was at his wedding.
Brought to his I was able to see him as acceptable.
Maybe part of his actual idea is that he wanted to bring down the Republicans.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I can't see how anyone. I mean, yes, okay, I understand he's using these things to sell or leverage and stuff, but I can't even imagine him sifting through all of these boxes at all. Like. Somebody must be doing it for him, and
of course, he's
why would he do such a thing, which is so, obviously going to end him in trouble, leave him to trouble. So.
I know you say you think it's going to go like the Whig Party, but surely you must see that like the Bud Light lost money. It is somewhat saying the opposite, right?
No, because Bud Light just continued on. I mean, they didn't destroy Bud Light.
Yes, but a lot of people were laid off, and it still is just sitting on the shelves if you go to the store. I mean,
I don't know. I was seeing pictures over the weekend of MAGA people buying Bud Light in grocery stores. So, I don't know. I mean, once Charlie Kirk and all them move on to another topic, Ben Shapiro, then everyone just moves that way. It's like it's hurting the
They're
sheep.
such a hateful bunch, those people.
They'll just bring out a new campaign with like loads of really manly men like Voltaire drinking, Bud Light while standing.
They just have no empathy.
Or like similar to.
Are you really a communist, Phantom Cooper? I always thought that was a joke, but you're telling
similar character that Clint Eastwood played in Gran Torino, that kind of character.
I love how Phantom Cooper like just comes into your chat like every weekend
Phantom Cooper's great,
for years just to like just spit vile and nonsense in the chat for like literally like 5 years straight.
Well, it's a catharsis thing, and I
think you're right.
Cathartic is it's very cathartic to just spew anything.
But I don't think that, for instance, like liberals are in any way in particular misogynistic compared to, say, I mean, the Republicans themselves, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's the embodiment of misogyny.
You want to talk about someone who was a man in a previous life? I mean, Jesus. I mean, she is going to be spending the rest of her life in prison at one point because she has done some horrible things.
Yeah.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what? See, every time I ask you something like this, you just sigh and it's
like I don't understand how you could even ask me a question like that. Do you even pay attention to this lady?
I want to know.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah, what's the crime?
Well, okay, what's the crime? She asked for a pardon 3 days into the job of working in the Senate. Why do you have to ask for a pardon 3 days if you haven't committed crimes?
Okay, what was the crime?
They haven't revealed it yet, but it was enough for her to ask Trump to pardon her. She paid the money to get him to pardon her, and he didn't pardon her. I personally, I mean, obviously I've no proof of this, but I personally think that she is the DC pipe bomber. So,
oh my God, that's a huge.
That's the bombshell you just dropped.
My God.
Well, all you gotta do is look at the
views of Cameron.
Look at the wardrobe of her that night. Look at the wardrobe of the bomber, and ask yourself why they haven't picked up the bomber yet. Maybe because it's a person of influence. No arrest yet.
So with her going to like Timcast and that cult, you think that there's some kind of underground, like weather underground for the Republicans?
Oh, I can't stand.
Well, I think that once Madison Cawthorn admitted to the fact that they had cocaine orgies, and then all of a sudden Mitch McConnell,
who of us haven't had those back?
I know, but then Mitch McConnell like dropped the video of like Madison Cawthorn having sex with his own cousin. Like they got him out of there real quick.
Wow.
Wow. Phantom Cooper with enlightening information as usual. Jesus.
How are the two things related?
You know, the people who are making $10 an hour or less, they live in red states. If you live in California, every job minimum here starts at 17 an hour. And that's like opening pay.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a Tim Hortons or like a coffee.
That's why I'm moving.
Now, if you work at the Piggly Wiggly in Oklahoma, you might be making $4.75. But if you work at McDonald's down the street from me, you're starting at 18 an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, can I just tell you, since I revealed that the Cracker Barrel franchise is opening up here, and I'm getting a job there.
Oh, nice.
Phantom Cooper ever since then has been really angry. Okay, yes. I put up a sign in the window when it opened saying only white people employed here. And
Cracker Barrel has fallen. Don't you know that, James?
I haven't been there in years.
I just love the name of it. Like, why would you name a place Cracker Barrel? It sounds like white crackers, Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Cracker, goddamn cracker. Like, okay, we're gonna go to somewhere to eat. Get some crackers. That's not very good food, is it?
Well, it's a joke title because they're predominantly in areas where there's only white people that live there. So
seriously,
that cracker comment reminded me of. Have you guys seen Conan O'Brien has had Kevin Nealon and Dana Carvey on, and they've been reading the script for the Hans and Franz movie that never got made. It's pretty good.
That sounds fun.
It is fun. Yeah, it's a nice little watch. Maybe Netflix will pick it up, but they got to secure Arnold for that. But for me, I don't know. Brian Conan O'Brien
Hey,
should be
Bill,
Brian.
Bill Clinton showing up on Arsenio Hall doing saxophone solos. That's what helped get him over the top.
Oh, I remember back. Absolutely.
The Simpsons parody. That's.
I'm just commenting on Phantom
Cool
Cooper's.
dude. Yeah, he was seen as a cool dude. But then when Indiana Jones plays the saxophone in that one episode, people are like, "Oh,
come on,
this is corny." You know.
Well, you gotta.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, you got to watch the young Indiana Jones.
Hey,
yeah, there's two things that are not comparable.
I think I heard you guys talk about Indiana Jones earlier. I'm not going to see the Dial of Destiny until it hits Disney Plus. I just won't.
I'm actually
Cameron, come on.
I'm on the fence. I know.
Hey, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull destroyed my soul.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so bad.
I actually like Crystal Skull, except for the monkey swinging scene and the ridiculous waterfall thing.
He could not survive the nuclear bomb dropping and flying in the
nuclear blast, Johnny.
It's all a bit lackluster, but you know.
The ending made me upset because the spaceship takes off with that whirl of dust, and there's not one speck of dust on Indiana Jones' coat. So
I don't understand how they like the latest one, for instance, or the last one. They've got such a great template, with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they just completely ignore it. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark is brilliantly made, and everything from.
They could have went back to the Ark. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, James, but they could have done a follow-up on the Ark and somebody breaking into the facility and stealing it out of the box, and I think that would have been a little more interesting, honestly. I think Disney doesn't understand that that's a Crusaders. Like it harkens back to the crusading times. That's why.
Well, I think they do understand that, and that's why they avoid that at all.
I think that would have been a great idea. That would have been a great idea, Ben, because then they could have opened it up at the Republican convention and wiped them all out.
You can see
Marjorie Taylor Greene's face is melting.
Oh, if you gave me a movie with Marjorie Taylor Greene's face just melting,
the face is already melted.
I was going to say, hasn't that already happened?
I would actually. I remember going
at the Ark of a Covenant
going to see the movie Volcano in the theater, and I paying money, and someone's like, "Why are you paying money to see this movie?" I said, "I will contribute money to any movie that shows
so much better."
I know, but I said any movie that was gonna show LA just burn into the ocean. I wanted to give money to it.
Yeah, they were good. There's a good Deep Impact, etc. Those films there was a series of good ones.
They came out at the same time, right?
Dante's Peak. I thought that was a Twin Peaks film, but that's actually a good film.
No, actually, you go into that restaurant, Twin Peaks, thinking it's about the Black Lodge and Dale Cooper, and all you get is big-breasted women in your face. So
it's amazing.
I know. I demand
what do you demand?
So this isn't the shit what I paid for.
I'm just like, here's all my money. Take it.
I'm a professional streamer. Anyway, no, but the thing with the whole Indiana Jones thing is Spielberg's a great director and everything, and you look at the first film, it's really good, but he just seemed to want to do a different thing with each Indiana Jones film he made. I can easily see that why they've handed it on James. Is it Mangold?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, it's like,
dude.
The second film doesn't feel anything like the first one.
No.
Then the third one is different again.
The third one's my favorite.
And a bit dry. It's good, but and then the fourth one is just ape shit crazy.
They gave it to Mangold because of Logan, and they're like, well, if you can do Old Man Logan, then you can do Indiana Jones, and that's just not the same movie,
No, not at all.
Yeah, but instead they're pretending that he's more like 50 rather than nearly 80. So they're always. It's like the last one, they didn't address his age barely at all, other than the fact that he's got
a couple of jokes,
the son and stuff. But
I was more disgusted in the last one that they were going to hand off the franchise to Shia LaBeouf, and I was like, oh no. That's why at the end
don't say that, because
I like that
Mandela Man now the rage is
he's rages at 11.
Well, Shia burned all his bridges. So
see Padre Pio, where he actually is a penitent man, and then kind of tell me that it almost.
Have you suddenly become deeply religious, Mandela Manoff?
Not suddenly. since I quit drugs like about 7 years ago or so.
That's good.
Okay.
All right, I gotta run, guys.
All right, take it easy.
All right, peace out.
All
everyone.
right, enjoy yourself. Oh, that was quick.
It was very quick. Yeah.
I don't even know what this Padre film is that he's talking
No,
about.
I don't either.
Shia LaBeouf over it. I've never even seen that film,
The trailer.
American Honey, but I would like to actually.
Oh.
Shia LaBeouf.
He was all the thing, and then he opened up his mouth, and that was it.
Well, did you know that Ray Parker Jr. actually made a song for many films actually? For instance, like Disturbia. And they were often, everyone was rejected by the higher ups in Hollywood. His one for Disturbia was like, Disturbia,
Wow.
it's gonna unnerve ya. Disturbia, that ain't even a word. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Bill
that
Murray's
kind of
coming.
thing.
Bill Murray's back for the new Ghostbusters movie, and it just kind of like I'm happy everyone's coming back. Blah, blah, blah. I just don't understand like why didn't they all do this when Harold Ramis was alive?
I know.
The moment Ramis dies, it's let's get the band back together, and it's like this isn't Blues Brothers 2000, folks.
No.
Like,
But the reality was that Bill Murray, for a long time, was actually quite sort of disinterested, wasn't it? Just not interested really in it.
when Harold Ramis sent him a script for it, and Bill Murray returned it after shredding it. He just opened it up. It was just a pile of shreds.
But it is understandable after Ghostbusters 2 because I mean, as a child, I thought that Ghostbusters 2 was like okay, but then a haunted painting, like shitting hell, is this the best you can do? Like it scared me at all.
I don't mind the gateway. That's a good idea.
Having the guy in it, like it didn't scare me. Sorry.
No, but Ghostbusters 2 is much better than people give it credit.
Oh,
for.
I agree with you, Cameron, for sure.
And,
Yeah.
I mean,
it is good as far as the music's concerned by Bobby Brown, but I think it's on a par with the first.
The entire movie is it's very humorous. I've watched it many a time.
But it's not Weekend at Bernie's too. I mean, it's still got something good in it.
Yeah, yeah.
My thing was that they needed to commit to the cartoon and have Slimer be a part of
the fact that they didn't get Ray Parker Jr. to do another tune for it.
That was odd. That always struck me.
That was a
as
massive
odd.
flaw. Like bringing in Bobby Brown, like what? You know, you may as well bring in like Stevie Wonder or something to do a.
Hey, that was '89. You got Batman, Lethal Weapon 2, Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, Weekend at Bernie's.
You gotta throw that in.
Yeah, see no evil, hear no evil.
Oh, that's right.
Like father, like son.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman. No, that was '88.
Yeah. Vice versa. Yeah, that was 1988.
This would be some good trivia one day. We should do this.
Body swap horror type films.
Yeah. The four body swap movies, like Father Like Son, vice versa. 18 again, right? And then Big came out, and then there was there was the Dream a Little Dream came out at the same time.
Big,
was that a body swap film?
Big is actually hilarious because if you ever think of it, they made a modern remake and they swapped, like they made the little boy be a little girl, be the guy. They switched the sexes. It'd be hilarious, man. Imagine when he's walking at the end, it's a little girl watching, and it's a guy watching it turn back into a little girl. It'd be the creepiest thing ever.
Oh Lord.
Well, it's okay. I'm surprised Mandela Mike Shire, Phantom People. Well, life is full of surprises.
Yes, it is.
He seems to have a bit of a crush on Shia LaBeouf for some reason. So you really don't think that he'll be able to do a comeback then, Cameron?
Shia? Eventually, maybe, but he did say a couple horrible things about Steven Spielberg, and once you say that,
what did you say?
You would have to do something outside Hollywood, right? Like
he was trashing Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Transformers and things like that.
Yeah, I think he's tried to soft pedal his way back a bit, but yeah,
well, there's a reason why he's not in the big movies anymore. You know, they cast him aside for Mark Wahlberg in the Transformers movies.
Yeah, he went a bit kind of ape shit, didn't he? And sort of.
Yeah, when you find yourself in a Lars von Trier movie, you've done something bad in Hollywood. He was in that 5-hour Nymphomaniac movie. So.
Yeah, he literally went into like a psychotic state that lasted.
Do you remember?
Seemed to last for a couple of years or something.
Do you remember that thing he did, James, where he locked himself in a movie theater and you could live stream watching him watches like all his movies in the theater for 24 hours, and he just went crazy like on screen the whole time?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
But also, people could come in and touch him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wow.
Mandela Man went in, but he stayed in too long and was taken out. People were coming in, and then like Shia, he was like complaining that people were molesting him. Like, well, you kind of let people come in and do anything they want. What do you think?
You set yourself up.
I mean, most people are pretty controlled, but you're always going to get certain people who are a bit crazy. So
he also would like show places with a bag over his head, and it would say Shia on it, and
and I am not famous anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, when you start doing things like that, you know, it's time to show up in a Polanski movie.
That's bloody lovely.
Okay.
That's just he only appears via video clip now.
That's bloody lovely.
That's Buckfast wine made by like monks.
Oh my! Wow.
And it's like tonic wine, quite strong, and it's got caffeine added.
Caffeine and alcohol are a bad mix.
It makes you go a bit crazy. To me, I think Shia was on too many of them. So yeah. Well, anyway, we've been on for quite a long time, especially combining the first video with this one. So
the technical.
I'll say thank you to you two now, and
all right, have a good day.
Thank you very much for coming on, Cameron. You'll always give us some more extra viewers. So.
Well, no, I just wanted to come say hi to you guys. I hadn't talked to you guys in a while, so
it was very.
No, I appreciate you dropping in. So thank you.
Of course. Oh, and James, we're nearly 50,000 on Twin Peaks Worldwide. So woo!
Really?
Very cool.
400. Got 400 more to go. We're gonna hit 50,000.
Wow.
Well, excellent. Very well done, I must say. Yeah. You've got more patience in it than me, and you can do the quality posts too.
Well, what's happening is I'm clearing out my hard drives, and I have like 8,000 Lynch photos on there, and so I'm just like, blimey,
I didn't know you saved them all.
Well, I have a lot, so I'm kind of cleaning out the hard drive.
It's commendable
and posting them up, so they're.
It is commendable.
I posted a picture of Laura screaming under the bushes today from Fire Walk with Me, and I said, "This might be the wrong post to put on Father's Day."
Well, this is Mandela Man: The Return Part 2.
Hey, can I show you guys something before we go?
That's up to James.
If James will put it up.
Is this a?
Yeah, I'll put it up if you want.
Okay, I just sent you a video. Go to 447 in that video, and you guys will see it's supposedly an alien craft, but it looks exactly like the symbol on the Twin Peaks map.
Ooh.
And
Mr.
C, like when he's looking at the playing card and he's like, "This is what I'm looking for." It actually looks like that thing is flying up in the sky. Like it's 447 to 450.
Okay, let me just find it.
All right. It's just like
don't be bringing the Black Lodge into here, Ben.
What's that?
Don't be bringing the Black Lodge into this. We're gonna curse us all.
You don't want to know about that, you know. Like that thing. It's just weird. Like I remember seeing it a long time ago, and then I found it again. I wanted to show you guys.
Right. Just bring it up for you now. This will be our concluding thing. Present.
Yeah, it's hot over here too. I see what you mean, James.
Yeah, it's hot over here, if you know what I mean. But that's because of you, Mandela Man, bringing the heat.
All the heat.
Tonight it went. I don't mean that in a sexual sense. I mean your debates, which mainly say, just show me who did it. Give me names. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that in the future now. Only joking. Right.
And he's been telling that to Congress under oath behind closed doors, and I think they'll probably bring them back. So,
all right, right there. You see that?
a lot like what we've been hearing
Yeah.
out in the Nevada.
They only show us
on the right.
Yeah, on the right. Like, damn, that's
That's just someone taking the piss.
yeah.
Maybe,
Okay, come on now.
Maybe
how does
Lynch,
that even
Rudy.
look real? What is
maybe Lynch is filming something and that's like a prop of this guy, you know. That would be cool.
Maybe David Lynch was
Take care,
kidnapped by,
Phantom Cooper,
kidnapped by
naturally.
aliens, and that was the symbol
Good.
they
Thank
gave
you
him.
for that. Anyway, I like it. But I don't even know what I'm looking at this point. I mean, the one on the left looks like an air balloon. The middle one looks like smoke in the air. The one on the right doesn't even look like something that's really in the sky.
It's got, I don't know, it's got the little, yeah, it's got, I don't know, that looks exactly like it to me. Like, damn. You don't want to know about that one.
Yeah, but I mean, what am I even looking at? This is in Las Vegas. It's like, what the?
Yeah, I
least
know
that-
too.
at least
Yeah, Las
that-
Vegas. Yeah.
And why is the sky a different shade in each picture as well?
That's
Like,
camera coloring.
And like with people doing stuff on, like people can take any picture and then just mess with it and go, evidence of a UFO, definitely. And then the next person is like, yeah, I can't see any reason it's not.
Well, this is on the news, you know, at least. So
Oh well. That's proof positive then.
yeah.
It's on Mystery Wire. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, George Knapp's been doing that
Yeah.
for them before we were even born. You know what I mean? So
Mysterywire.com, run by a large number of LSD and drug casualty members.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
thank you, everyone.
It was
Thank
good
you,
talking
everyone.
to
happy Father's Day there, Cameron.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Bye for now, everyone. And
you.
I appreciate you coming back in again and just giving it to me straight. Thank you very much. my
Yes,
darling.
yeah, thanks, my darling.
Thank
Take
you
care.
very much, Johnny.
No
Thank
problem.
you, everyone in the
James, for
chat.
having me.
All right.
See you all in the trees. Bye for now.
Bye
Bye.
for now.